Hold on to your butts, storm chasers. Here's the man of the hour, the painter extraordinaire, Thunderhead.
Wah! Sorry about that. My mouse that I have over here, my little wireless mouse, just stopped working. Did it run out of batteries? It literally just happened. Let me swap that battery. So I don't have to do that again. Oh, yeah, no, that was on purpose. I did that because it's funny and not because I was desperately leaning across the room for another mouse at the last second. I'm going to do it again. You ready? Whoa, out of frame we go! Fucking batteries. Whoa! And here we are again. This is why people tune in, I'm sure, is from my genius comedic timing. Let's see if that fixed things. Hopefully it did. Hopefully I didn't just fuck things up more. Oh my god, that was exactly it. It was out of batteries. Who would have ever thought that a battery-driven thing could then run out of battery power? That's not a feature I'm familiar with. Oh, lordy lord. How's everybody doing? Why isn't my chat updating on my thing? Hang on. Let me restart this business. No. Stop it, iPad. Stop it. Open the fucking dashboard, you... I hate all these commands that are based on, like, what direction you swipe with what pressure and combine a couple of directions or maybe use two fingers. Actually, you know what? As I say that, I realize I don't hate that feature. I actually like it. But then I forget some of the Apple commands, and then I forget how to do what it is I'm trying to do, and then I ramble inanely for a good 30 seconds to a minute as I'm trying to make my thing work and get into my chat. Is this the chat? Can I see the chat? Somebody say something. If you're not already. Blargle, blargle, blargle. What's up, Aporo? Anything? Is he going to come up? Am I going to be able to see what people are saying? Oh my god, there it is.
Cat girls that give you that warm,
all
fuzzy
at once.
feeling.
Heat
Maybe
bloom,
it's just my allergies.
says Greg the Salt Miner. To which I say, as soon as I find the excuse, though I have to say, I'm going to do heat bloom on a model that is slightly larger than 6 to 12 millimeter scale, because that sucks. I've done it, some kind of mild ones, but you know, I'm going to be building a little bit of 28 millimeter today, so maybe we'll do a little bit of it on some Star Wars figures. I know, I've been BattleTech for the last couple of months, but man, I've got to take a little bit of a break. Just a short break from 6mm. I'm sitting there today and I'm looking at figures and I'm just like, oh god, these fucking mechs. I painted so many of them, and then so I have to do a little bit more work on. I'm probably out of focus, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Let me fix that. And let me start up Pretzel while I'm at it, because I didn't do that for some reason. Because I never do. And fuck yous. Get into fuck yous. Hey. Now we're cooking. So I came back to, I'll finish my thought. I realize I distracted myself. But finishing this guy, finishing up Kantos has been like just, oh my god, I'm finally done with Rampart Company. Holy shit, what an amazing feat. And that feeling of relief. There, start the music, Jesus. Okay, now we're complete. The feeling of relief was somewhat spoiled by immediately turning around and starting on some clan mechs. But, I'm gonna finish basing Kantos. And paint a couple other things, clear my palette a little bit, and then come right back around. And then it's gonna be just Storm Chaser Thunderskunk time. Project start. I just need a little bit of time after Rampart. They weren't that bad to paint once I really got started rolling on them, but coming up with the concepts, 12 different paint schemes, was a little bit much, and then doing the mod parts just left me a little bit fried on 6mm painting. I'm looking forward to doing something a little bit bigger, and I feel like Revelations has been kind of breaking me out of that. I know, I'm jumping all the way from 6mm to 12mm. That's fucking amazing. What command isn't working? Oh, STL isn't working? Is my bot in here? Is the Thunderbot around? It should be. Yeah, it was saying stuff. I set the command. It is. Today I am just printing hex bases. That was the other thing, is as I was getting models ready today, I realized that I've actually used up all of the, like, 40-something hex bases that I made late last year. I was like, sort of put it in perspective. I'm like, oh my god, I've made that many bases. Because I'm looking back at the backlog, and it's like, yeah, I painted a company of Lyrans, I painted a company of Merrick, I painted a Lance of Lao, I painted Rampart Company, I did a Lance of Eridani Lighthorse, I did a company of Comstar. The actual productivity on Battletech for the last few months has just been fucking berserk. And I only started streaming kind of at the tail end of it, so, you know, I'll recharge my batteries a little bit, and then we're going to hit Thunderskunk and Storm Chasers hard. I'm going to bring this guy back into frame a little bit and admire him a little bit in my camera. I feel pretty good about how Kanto's turned out. The lensing is fairly subtle, but I think effective. The orange-red worked out nice. It didn't take rust coloration very well, so I only did spots of rust on the white parts. But all in all, I'm really pleased with this. Cybran, I know, often can't make it in here. 6mm, short break, scale puns. Yeah, we got jokes. We got jokes for days. We got jokes for millimeters up in here. I did a little bit of a reassess on the mic upgrade, and I managed to get the package that I need for $180, so I dropped that goal right down. And it might, you know, already be on the way, because I'm a goddamn fool, and I love kit. So I'm putting myself into it a little bit, but I think the audio improvement is really going to be worth it. Oh, so who do we got? Hello, everybody. Kursala, Vergadarung, O'Coral, Dark, Fox. We got Cat Ion from the very start. We got OTR Wolfdog. Greg is here, talking shit, making jokes. There's Roland. There's Lore Friendly. Holy shit, people. Wolfenspawn. Ooh. I kind of feel like that would be too much, Thunderhead Stables. Now, Roland suggested this, and I think it's actually pretty cool. I think it was you, Roland. I'm sorry. People have different names between Twitch and Discord, and that's just gonna fuck me up for as long as we know each other. Like, that's never gonna be any better. I remember a few of you, because, like, Cat Ion. Well, that's Cat, right? Greg the Salt Miner. His name's fucking Greg, you guys. Like, they make it so easy on me. Yeah, no, I think that's, Hey, what's up, Commissar Iguana? Steiner Miniatures. Cat, could we get a shout-out for Steiner Miniatures really quick? He has been, getting some streams going lately, and really just getting his stuff, I mean, for those of you who were here for the first few streams I did, the first 5 were like, they were an atrocity. I uploaded them to YouTube. I was thinking about just leaving them off, like, so people who come in to the stream later will just think I started, and I was, like, doing okay, and I had overlays and everything, and I knew how to do my thumb dance, right? But it's up there, and I was watching it a little bit the other day, and I'm like, oh my god, how did anybody watch it? I had a camera, like, right about here where my hand is, and I, like, had my arm wrapped around it, and I was trying to paint, and I was leaning my head in, and I was going to the side, and my microphone was, like, in my mouth. It was terrible. But he's getting his, like, overlay and OBS stuff figured out and dialed in over the last few streams, and he's been painting some Revelation Skirmish figures and doing a goddamn fantastic job at it. Like, really some great looking stuff. But, you already did a shout out? Yeah, I see that, Cat. Thank you very much. Go check him out. Give him a watch. You like watching mech figures get painted? You're gonna like Steiner Miniatures. I could change. I don't believe that. Don't give away my secret identity. I'm sorry, Greg. That's like your luchador wrestling name, isn't it? Mine's easy, but I think I might change it now to screw with you. But, you know, I know you in person, which makes it a little bit easier. I've made that base association of your screen name to your actual face, and now I've forgotten your real name. So, I'm just gonna be like, yo, Kursala, what's up? Next time we're at a fucking convention together or something. That'll be a great time. An atrocity like my face. Oh, Hethrir. Such a flatterer. It's one of my best friends, ladies and gentlemen. Hethrir, we've known each other since we were little kids, and he stops into my stream to call me ugly. That's... Oh, Lord. Pondburn, good to see you, man. See, Kursala, that I'm fucking full of shit. Damn it, I thought I knew who you were on Facebook, and now I'm wrong. I'm wrong, and I've been talking to someone else as if they were you. And it's so stupid that I just have to sit here and own it. Like, I could try to pretend like it didn't happen, but technically I've already admitted to it, so you all get to share in the moronicism that is me trying to associate faces and names. Oh, that's good to know. Well, you know what, then? This is like a game of... You guys ever play Guess Who? You know, where you name features and you knock the little faces down until you've guessed the person that the other person drew? This is like an extended game of that. And I just went, well, it's definitely not Nate. It's definitely not that guy. He's probably a little confused as to why I was talking to him about things that you said on the stream, Kursala. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, I apologize for mistaking your identity. I will separate the two of you from now on, and I'll stop giving him credit for your witty remarks. How about that? Oh, maybe he'll raid you when he finishes here. Well, I'll check and see who's streaming. I mean, you're assuming anybody's gonna be here to raid by the time I'm done. You're assuming I won't have driven everybody off by confusing them with other people and insulting their mothers. What's everybody up to tonight? That's the wrong water. You know, I believe that. I believe it, Kursala. Other people getting credit for your wittiness. Let's get started on something. What do you say? Well, the Guess Who image of... Oh yeah, does he look like a bitch? That's a good one. Greg is doing some 3D modeling, working on a portfolio project, and ladies and gents, as per usual, at least for the last few streams, if you're working on something during the stream, you're doing some art, you're doing some painting, you're like Dark Fox over here, eagerly awaiting confirmation of working for Rick Graham for Revelations. By the way, I saw that. That's fucking cool, Dark Fox. I hope that works out for you. You're very talented, and I mean... Revelations deserves all the best. I think that Rick has a really great vision, and I think that with some people around him to kind of... I don't want this to sound patronizing. I feel like it's going to sound patronizing. If anyone's listening, who cares? I don't mean it to sound that way. I just know how creatives are, particularly when they get their head focused on like a big picture kind of a thing. You sort of need people around you to kind of corral you a little bit, because things will seem like a great idea and you'll be like, we're definitely doing that, we're going all in on it, and you'll launch off into the fucking wild blue yonder, and you need maybe somebody with their ear to the ground to go, oh, slow down, let's not do that thing, let's focus on this other good idea a little bit. And they also need people around them to take their vague notions and translate them into real-world product and concepts. And I'm looking forward to what Dark Fox can do there. Shopping for a new entertainment center. Oh, of course, Dark Fox. Dark Fox, I don't have to have faith in you. I've seen your work. Like, that's... I don't mean that to sound like I don't have faith in you, but I feel like I don't need it. Just finished that batch of 19 clan rats. Ooh. Staring blankly at a cicada and Pegasus, wondering how cockpit glass works. Lore friendly, I've painted a lot of cockpit glass, and I don't fucking know either. You kind of just pick something that you think looks good, really, because it's ultimately a piece of flat plastic being painted to look like glass, so... You know. Too drunk to paint. Damn, that's pretty drunk. I gotta be pretty drunk to be unable to paint at all. Like, unable to paint... Well, okay, fair. Fair. Maybe I won't paint great. But I can usually slap something around. I've got my process down pretty well for these revelations. Oh, excuse me. Minis now. Vandal Noir, good to see you, man. Welcome. I already said hi to you, didn't I, Commissar Iguana? If I didn't, hey, what's up? What's up, Iguana? How you doing? Strange Kurita, awesome. I think I saw it before, Vandal Noir. You got the split, the white-red, right down the center, right? That's cool. Literally describing yourself in your process, right? Oh, he knows me too well. He's seen me at my worst. He's seen me at my slightly better than worst. I've got the process for this base coat worked out pretty well now. I did these guys this morning. I did their airbrushed highlights yesterday, and then this morning I just started hitting them with dry brushing and washing. I think I posted pictures of them with just the airbrushing done. But a little bit of dry brushing and a real thin wash, and this is, in my mind, a very effective base coat. At this point, I think I'm just going to stick with the purple stripe on the same side each time. Left side, because your heart's on the left side, or the purple represents the core republic. I don't know, I'm sure there's some symbolism in there. So we'll do the purple stripe down here. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to line it up. I don't know. Figure something out. On both the hull and the turret. Yellow missiles, just like I did on the Sierra. I did green sensors, so I'm probably going to do green, green, green on the Mars. And then use my usual undercarriage / dark blue gunmetal for our treads, our guns. You know, the usual bullshit. Toss it up like a horse draws. Jesus, I shouldn't do accents. That's terrible. Like, I heard myself saying it, and I knew it was bad. Did these guys this morning as well, with the same process, and I think they came out pretty decent, ready for detail work. All these highlights, by the way, on these guys, this is all dry brushing. Every bit of this is dry brushing. And I'm always like a little reluctant to say that, to be like, hey, I just dry brush this real quick, because dry brushing gets kind of a bad rap. But honestly, if you're using the right brush, and you're doing the right model, and you're cleverish with it, dry brushing is capable of some pretty precise results. I'm gonna get working on these guys.
Look, I'm not saying Thunderhead's trying to brush you off, but you're just base coat, man.
Just base coat, man. Just base coat. And then I've got a fucking nightmare project over here. We're gonna do a little bit of this. Are the rules out? How does it play for Revelations? So there is a beta version of the rules. Well, let me start. Let me start from the beginning. Angry fish mechs. For the Murloc inclined. Of you, silvery demise phalanx. What is my dry brush preference? Let me tell you. I don't remember who recommended this to me. But this is the finest dry brush I've ever owned. Project Dark Fox. With the biddies. Charging things up, getting things moving. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Dark Fox. Thank you very much. But this is it's a makeup brush. It's an ELF contour brush. I think I picked it up off Amazon. It's got a little dried paint on it. Don't mind that. But for the softness of the bristles and the arrangement of the bristles, like this thing is magical. I probably need to get a new one here pretty soon because I'm starting to get to a point where I've almost put a permanent bend in some of these bristles. But this one has lasted me almost a year. And I have never used the dry brush that achieves quite these effects. Now, I will also use, like, just a plain, I think this is a tester. Yeah. Is this synthetic? I just realized I don't know if this brush is synthetic or not. I'm feeling it, and it doesn't feel synthetic. This might actually be a sable. Anyway, though, you can do this with synthetic, too. Just a flat. A nice wide flat. It just depends on what it is you're dry brushing. This is going to be good for textures, rounded surfaces, and complex surfaces. This is going to be good for hard edges. Or really, really broad surfaces. One of the two. I forgot what I was saying leading into that. It's going to happen a lot today. I'm a little scatterbrained today. You guys, I think that was the, I mean, not having to deal with some fucking workmen coming out here is just stressful right now. But, then I was all just thinking about getting to work on clan mechs, and my brain just, like, the gears slowed and the teeth started slipping, you know? And I'm like, maybe let's just take a short break. A short break from Battletech. We have so much other stuff to work on. And there are so many games out there. I've got Heavy Gear Blitz arriving pretty soon, for that matter. I was about to start talking about Revelations, though, before I got into that. Because who asked about it? Lore Friendly, you were asking about Revelations, and I can give you a brief primer on that, if you're interested. Commissar Iguana, yeah, I agree. I praise. Dry brushing is an incredibly powerful tool. Claiming inspiration from Makeup Brush been my go-to. It very well may have been you who suggested the Makeup Brush, Greg. And you're liking the Artist's Opus. Okay, I might have to check that out. So, alright. Revelations is a war game that came up on Kickstarter a little while ago, and it's a 12mm science fiction skirmish game by Rick Graham, who has also done a lot of writing in the universe that he's created for Revelations. I will just admit I have not read any of the books. The lore I've picked up kind of through the little primer that he's got and just kind of by osmosis, because my primary interest is in game rules and models. For the most part, you feed me some cool-looking robots and a really vague backstory, and I'll just start filling in the details. You know, like, it doesn't really matter that much to me a lot of the time. But I know he's written a lot of fiction, so it's there if you're interested. But it is a 12mm scale war game, and here's a good example. These are 12mm infantry for the game, so you can get an idea of how big things are supposed to be. And it's a neat skirmish game. It's based on using D10s and D6s, which is something that concerned me until I played a little demo of it. And it's really just D10s are for attack, D6s are for defense. It borrows a lot from a number of other games, but it does so artfully. For instance, it uses an order card system where you play an order card before your turn begins, and that sort of changes how your turn plays out. It reminds me a lot of Star Wars Legion, but it's a really good game mechanic, and I like it applied to this. It has, it's not entirely focused on the mechs. I think if I had to pick out one thing about this game that kind of sets it apart while being a mech game, it's that it has not quite a rock, paper, scissors, but definitely a role for infantry, armor, and mechs. And it focuses on those three unit types really well, and it gives them all something to do on the field. If you just take war mechs, for instance, you'll find that armor, while not as adaptable, not as capable of responding to threats quickly, has a lot more firepower that it can direct at any given time. So if you take all war mechs and you think you're being clever with all your activations, somebody who took all armor is probably just going to batter you into submission with overwhelming firepower for the same number of points. Similarly, if you ignore infantry, they can swarm over your vehicles with things like EMP weapons, and they can actually, if you get multiple units into contact with an enemy vehicle or war mech, you can actually capture it, which is kind of cool. Now, you don't just turn it around and start using it against the enemy. It's more of a capture, disable state, but still, like, infantry is so much cheaper than a mech, and if you have a mech that isn't being supported by infantry of its own, it can just get swarmed and taken out. It really encourages you to play with combined arms, and it's built clearly with a mind of being both nuanced and pick-up game friendly. Like, you don't really have to plan your game out 3 days in advance. It has things right there in the, and that's what I was going to say, the beta rulebook, because it is a beta. It's an early release. It is not finished yet. That is available on the Kickstarter, but they've got like scenarios in there, ways to roll for different environmental conditions. But the rules are good. They're a little rough right now. Not rough in the sense that they can't be played, rough in the sense that there's definitely some bookkeeping that needs done, a few erroneous phrases still stuck in there, but again, they are very much beta rules that they are in the process of revising before they release the full rules along with the game. But I'd like to note how cool it is that they have released the beta rules for us to peruse and play with, in addition to being responsive to the notion that because they are producing all their own stock here in the United States using 3D resin printers, that they could make those files available to the players for a price so that they could then print their own figures. This is something that I mentioned to Rick when I was thinking about getting into the campaign, and he contacted me and we spoke more about it, and he decided to open up the tiers to 3D printers. So there are now tiers for the Kickstarter where you can get STLs for these files, because this is a 3D printed war mech right here. All the figures that I have for Revelations I printed on my Elegoo Mars right back here, and that maybe is the most interesting feature to me, is the capacity to make as many of your own figures as you want to play this game. It is, I think, a business risk. It's not something that anybody has really done before. I applaud Rick for being willing to try it. We're still not sure if that's going to continue. Yeah, I say we. He's still not sure if that's going to continue. He's sort of waiting to see what the response is, how people like it. But as of now, there are reward tiers on the Kickstarter for receiving just digital files so that you can print your own figures and get playing right away. And I just think that's the coolest thing ever. I really do. And it doesn't help that the War Mechs look fucking cool. I've only got the Sierra here. Greg... Oh, not Greg. Gray to Table Studios. I'm so used to seeing Greg the Salt Mine and there's all those underscores. Gray to Table Studios, thank you so much for the follow. That is thoroughly appreciated. I hope you're enjoying my rambling about a Kickstarter game that's coming out. Looking forward to being the weird dude in the makeup aisle. Yes. Well, you know, we gotta keep things interesting. You don't want to... I mean, what's the alternative? You could just be boring. Who wants that? How did the paint rack turn out? Pretty nice. I need to get it mounted, which is going to be a little bit of a process because I need to take apart my painting station. But it printed very nicely. Thank you for asking. Isn't there a limit on the number of prints? Pawn burn, as of now, there is not. We talked about that. I don't know how you could possibly do that. Now, it comes along with some legalese that these files are for you to print for your personal use and not for resale, not for distribution. But I don't know how you would physically prevent people from printing as many of a figure as they want. And this is something that we talked about extensively, and it's definitely a risk that when you sell STLs to 3D printers, you just made that sale to that person and you can never sell that file to that person again. But he's planning on doing things like releasing mod packs and alternate sculpts and stuff like that. So it's all very experimental, but I'm hoping that it goes well. And for my part, as a 3D printer, I intend to support him as much as I can, because it is a business model that I would like more people to explore. I say that entirely out of a selfish desire to 3D print all of my own damn figures. Genius move on Revelations part. First player to the game with the STL. I agree, Colonel Matthew Steiner. I really hope it goes well. Not a huge fan of mechs, but those mechs look cool. Greg, I agree. It's real easy to draw up a big, dumb-looking robot. A lot of people do it. If the mechs from Revelations didn't grab me, didn't have something to their basic layout and their basic shapes, I probably wouldn't have even contacted him in the first place, but I really like the look of him. I think he's got some great designs. And you've only seen the Sierras. Once I'm able to get my hands on things like the other factions, Goblin War Mechs, they look cool as shit. And they've got these, like, they've got those weapon racks coming up over the shoulder, like from Titanfall or what was that movie with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt? Edge of Tomorrow. Verg, I don't think there is either. But, you know, somebody's got to kind of get their feet wet and figure it out. If I'm going to be painting Heavy Gear Blitz, you may absolutely make a suggestion, Roland. Please, suggest away. I have no skin in the game as far as the lore or background of Heavy Gear, except that in the late 90s I played Heavy Gear Heavy Gear 2 almost religiously. That game was fucking amazing. I didn't understand anything about the lore at the time. I just played the game, and I still remember it very fondly. Only thing I'm worried about on his end is people going behind the company's back and selling printed models. We talked about that too, and it's a small game, and it's a very particular community, and I feel like to some degree players have to be capable of policing themselves if this sort of business model is going to work. And I realize that sounds like I'm saying, hey guys, let's start the fucking United Federation of Planets tomorrow and abolish money. But, you know, it is very experimental. And I would like to think that with as small a company, as a small game as it is, if you want to see the game actually continue, you'll be buying the figures from Rick. And it's not like he makes them unaffordably expensive. He's not Games Workshopping people out there. He's charging very, very reasonable rates. But we'll see. We'll absolutely see. I mean, I don't know what kind of DRM you would put in. The Kickstarter is called... I really should have a link for it. I apologize, the Riddick. The Kickstarter is called Revelations Skirmish on on Kickstarter. Kat, if you're in here, would you do me a favor and find the Revelations Skirmish Kickstarter page and link it here into the chat for me? Revelations Skirmish version 2, thank you. I don't think you can access the version 1 at this point because that closed down. The Goblin is very hot, I agree. HGB Heavy Gear Blitz really takes to modern/real-world styles of camo paint schemes real well, so I might study those in preparation. I was thinking that already, Roland. I was kind of looking at them, and my brain went in the same direction that everybody's does when they start thinking of realistic paint schemes that aren't necessarily camo, and I was like, I'm going to paint them like German gray, you know, Panzer gray green, and I don't know, that idea hit me first, and then I also got kind of turned off by it. But one thing I have wanted to do for a long time as far as realistic mech paint schemes go, I think I might do for this. And that was that in the near the end of World War II, there were a number of pieces of German armor being fielded where, essentially the story goes, they were assembling these late war Tigers, and they'd hit them with the red primer and they'd get them assembled, and they were needed in battle so badly that they didn't then stop to paint them. They didn't throw down any camo, they didn't put unit markings on them or anything. So out of the German factories were rolling these rust primer red tanks with like engineers markings on them in chalk, where people had written like, okay, connect here at this angle, and there's a weld here and a big, you know, arrow that they normally would have painted over. And I don't know quite how I could work that in lore-wise to Heavy Gear, but I think that a primer red color scheme could be both cool and have some provenance in the real world. But I haven't really decided yet. I'm probably going to wind up painting them garishly anyway, because that's just how I paint things. I can't do camo schemes. Like, I've done it before, and I drive myself crazy with it. Dazzle camo. Gonna do some Dazzle camo eventually. I don't mind Dazzle, as long as I got the right colors. Looked at back in the Kickstarter, but the Aussie dollar is tanked against the US dollar. And I'll be the first person to admit that this is incredibly poor timing for a Kickstarter. Not on Rick's part, because clearly Rick couldn't have possibly predicted anything that's going to happen. But as far as releasing a Kickstarter goes, like, man, there are a few worse world events that could possibly coincide with asking people for money for little plastic robots. But the first round of funding has been successful. They've hit their minimum, so it is happening. And maybe this will just give them a chance to kind of, you know, gather themselves. And then when everything starts to ramp back up and people are buying stuff again, they'll have a nice backlog to work with. And they'll have more of a name. People will have been playing with the figures. They'll have been using the rules. I think there'll be even more hype afterwards. At least that's my hope. Rust Red works for the Badlands. Yeah, see? I knew that. I chose it because of my in-depth and complex knowledge of the Heavy Gear storyline. I am pretty much a lore expert on Heavy Gear. Don't they use land ships? There's like a big equatorial desert and they've got big-ass land ships. As a 3D printer, I immediately started thinking, I wonder how big a land ship would be if I printed it in scale. Probably pretty big. I remember launching from them in the game. There were like a bunch of little launch bays you'd come out of. Black, white, random zebra patterns. You know what? Maybe Heavy Gear will be the place where I experiment with actually doing fun camo schemes, because I'm like, no, I don't paint camo, but if I made that my project, getting out of my comfort zone, I mean, that could work. I could get on board with that. Coal black, radioactive green, dazzle camo. Damn it, Verd, you've actually got some really good ideas. Stop giving them to me. I have other shit to focus on. I was showing you guys the little 12mm infantry. I'm going to try to work on these guys a little bit today. I usually avoid painting infantry at this scale. Here are the power armor suits for the Core Republic. Little Centurions, big guns on either arm. I've got their base coat done up. I'm not sure how much work I'm going to put into detailing these guys, but they're good-looking little figures, and they've got a reasonable amount of detail on them. Funky. What's up, Downslide? How you doing, man? Someone built a scale Vortex class land ship. I assume that's pretty big. No, that is... These are... I don't know if you're familiar with them. Most people would never have seen these, Cat. These are... fibrous painting stick handles. They are only made by one company and sold for the very specific purpose of painting 12mm models. That's what they are. You can... I have an exclusive deal with them. You can buy them from me if you're interested at $10 each. I'll be posting the link for that later on the Discord. Put the Griffin up next to the power armor. Yo, you want to see the comparison? We can do that. Yes, they're popsicle sticks. That's exactly what they are. Fibrous painting dongles. There you go. The power armors are, about right there. Now, the power armor, I'm pretty sure you could scale down a little bit if you felt like it. But you wouldn't need to do much, like maybe 3/4. Not 3/4, but, you know, 1/4, and you'd have something close to an elemental sized. And I need to try doing one of these Sierras at 6mm scale. But as of now, I've just been getting the ones out for me to paint for the full-size army. I don't have this one primed yet. Here's an example of funny things you can do with 3D printing. This one printed and it failed on the missile launcher over his shoulder, so I just printed out a missile launcher and I pinned it to his back as if it were folded back. Like the other ones are in firing position and this one's in a stowage position. I think that's pretty cool. I like all the funny poses you can get out of 3D printing like a madman. To sell my overpriced things, yeah, I created the buy-sell trade, the higher channel specifically for selling $10 popsicle sticks. $10 popsicle sticks, pardon. Or scale it up a bit and you'd have a proto-mech. Yeah, you're not wrong. Sweet sword, yeah, I like the blade coming out of the Sierra's arm. I did one on this guy too. He's more holding this one down at his side as he lays down some suppressive fire with one arm, being a badass. Ooh. So I'm going to do a little bit of dry brushing on these bases, I think, and then I'm going to come in and do some... Actually, I should do that first. The second thing I was going to say is the thing I'm actually going to do first, and that's going to be laying down some dark blue, coal black colors on these figures. And then after a little bit, I'm going to try building some of these Star Wars Legion figures, guys. So, there's a funny story about these. And the fact that these are on plastic styrene sprues, which I did not know that they were. And Greg will remember, we were still playtesting for Legion when... Well, I wasn't. I got out of playtesting for Legion before they did any of this, so I have not actually seen any of the stats for any of the Clone Wars stuff. I'm not familiar with any of the playtesting process for this set of units, which is kind of why I'm getting back into it. But there was a time on the FFG forum when people were talking about how are they going to make those B1 battle droids in the soft PVC. They're going to be bendy and they're going to look like shit and they're going to be terrible. And I was like, well, they're gonna. It's how they're gonna do it. It's gonna be stiffer, but... And I was so condescending, you guys. I was a dick about it. Hanburn with the biddies. Thanks so much. I appreciate you, man. Scale land ship is 7 feet 6. Okay, so I'm not making one of those. If I made a scale land ship, it would... I could fit it on my gaming table with 6 inches on either end. So it would be the entire map. So maybe we don't do that. But okay, I was incredibly condescending to some people online, and I made the remark, and I'm just going to admit this. Now, bear in mind, before I say this, I'm not going through with it. I fully admit my hypocrisy. But I bet someone online that if FFG was switching to styrene sprue-based models, I would eat a sock. That's what I said. And you all are witness to me welching on that fucking bet, because I'm... Oh, they did it. They made styrene sprues, and they're pretty good looking. I feel a bit like an asshole for how assured I felt. Not only are they styrene sprues, but this Grievous figure, like, I'd seen pictures of it, but I mean, shit, they put all the options on here. We got the 2 big arms, or you can do the 4 smaller arms for 4 lightsabers. You got 1 arm that's holding the blaster. Like, you can do anything you want with this guy. This is fucking crazy. I'm looking forward to digging into that. It wasn't the best packaged, I'll give them that. The B1 droids are still very spindly, and at least one of them broke off its sprue because I've been finding these little limbs all throughout the box.
This conversation gets more about how you feel about something.
But I feel so
I'm gonna
deeply.
have to start charging you 50 C-bills per hour so I can listen to it.
Yeah, I'll get some edible panties and I'll make them into socks. Because I don't think they make edible socks. I don't think that's a thing. Though maybe that's a business. Maybe that's a business idea, something we could start. Get a chocolate sock. Again, I don't think they make that. That's not a thing. The clone troopers are still in their hard PVC, but I'm under the impression that they're trying to switch everything over to the hard plastic sprues, which is interesting. What did I walk into? Oh, I was just talking about eating socks and how fun it is and how much of a good time I have. What's up, Necrobob?
I never thought that I would say this. But I'm glad to see you. Very glad.
Good to see you, man. Oh, in case I haven't reminded people, before I get started here in just a second, and I should pull up my palette while I'm talking. In case I haven't reminded people yet, if you're working on something during the stream, if you are painting, if you are sewing, if you're stitching, those are all kind of in a very particular theme. Anything you're working on, if it's artistic, if it's just productive, if you got some photography that you like, please pop into the Discord and put it into the paint review channel. They're not paint review, stream review channel, and towards the end of the stream, we'll jump in there and we'll go over it, because I really enjoy seeing what you guys are working on while I'm doing this. Carve sock into a carrot and eat it on stream. I like that you guys are helping me think of ways to get around the bullshit that I spewed at some poor people who were just making valid observations online. I assume most 3D printer files would have to be edited for this, but it would be very difficult to make 3D printed mechs or whatever with articulating joints. Articulating as in you print them out and then they still move. I mean, yeah, you'd have to design them for that. The Revelations figures definitely aren't designed for that. They're designed with ball joints. They can be reposed sort of crudely and rudimentarily by just sort of chopping and moving parts around. Can I get an STL of those exact hex bases? These are... like, they're just 28mm hexes, man. Yeah, you'd have to put the parts together. If you want them, OTR Wolf Dog, if that's what you're talking about, I'll post them up on the Discord, man. They're like, these hex bases are probably the second or third thing that I ever designed for 3D printing when I was learning how to make basic shapes and chamfers and shit like that. I think they're up on Thingiverse, but I can't remember. It was so long ago. So long ago, it's been months. It's been months. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I'm supposed to have some coal black because I am an unoriginal asshole. And that's just what I do. Yeah, you can chop them up and change the pose, which is something that I've been talking about with Rick, and he's aware that you are able to do that. He doesn't necessarily want people taking the files and an experienced 3D printer or modeler just reconfiguring things and making his own shit, but he recognizes that he can't really stop people from doing that. At the same time, as somebody who is okay at 3D design, I prefer to just buy different poses from him so that I don't have to spend a bunch of my fucking time working on those files. Because the draw for me is not necessarily just that I can modify the files. The draw for me is that I can make as many of them as I want without having to buy model kits from people and do rudimentary poses. Like, I don't really want to chop the Sierra into pieces, start messing with scale, and create his other mechs. I'd rather give him some money and have him give me the files for the other mechs, so I don't have to think about it. It's all about relative value, you know? How much do you value your time? How much do you value his time? How much do you value having him continue to make things? I value that quite a lot. Yeah, you could probably do something like that, Greg. Pulled the trigger on an Ender yesterday. Ooh, I'm glad to hear that. Welcome. I wish I had an Obi-Wan button I could push to let you know that you're taking your first steps into a larger world. What program would you use to modify 3D printer files? That depends on what it is I am trying to modify. Tinkercad's a good choice. Honestly, there's a like automatically included Windows utility called Microsoft 3D Builder that is surprisingly robust for being a generic Windows utility. I recommend that you give that one a shot if all you're trying to do are some simple changes, cuts, scale, shifts, stuff like that. The 3D Builder is, I mean, I will often use that, and if the project becomes too complex for its simple tool set, then I'll switch to something else. And I want a little bit of flow aid, which I need to refill this. How's the music level tonight, you guys? I'm excited. I'm excited for that new mic. It's on its way. I'm going to be getting it hooked up probably this weekend. I have not. I figured I'd alert you guys. I have a birthday coming up. And this is not to solicit anything from you, but more to let you know that I haven't quite decided if I'm going to stream on my birthday or not. I'm going to say that there's like an 80% chance that I will,
Do you like
because I can't
sexy
fucking
battle
go
mix,
anywhere.
Sexy streamers and sexy Solaris cheerleaders? Well, Thunderhead's stream has some of those things, and more.
And more. We'll find out. Which is code for throw money at him. Okay, you people. You people. I swear. I swear. What was I just reading? Music level's fine. But Mega Drive is boring. I'm so sorry. That's a little weird for Gadarung. Like, why do you copy me? How did you find out what my birthday was? And more importantly, how did you change yours? That's what I want to know. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, Greg. Well, she wants me to do whatever the fuck I want, but, like, I can't go anywhere. Normally, I would be out on the town, like, having a big old steak, and, I don't know, throwing water balloons full of champagne in homeless people's faces. But, cat with the biddies, thank you so much. Thanks for charging things up. I wouldn't really do that, by the way. First of all, my focus is out for this size, so let me fix that. Stubbs copies me. Dropped frames detected. You guys getting any stutter out of the stream? It's telling me I got some dropped frames. Sorry about that if that's the case. Where is my camera control? There it is. That's pretty good. Stuttered exactly once. Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, hooray for us to have to celebrate quarantine. Yeah, because Kat's almost in that boat herself. I mean, she is in that boat of having a birthday over quarantine, but she's not necessarily in April 2nd. But close. Actually, I'm going to want to move this even closer. Because it's fucking tiny! twice. Well, let me know how bad it gets. If you are experiencing dropped frames, you have my sincerest, heartfelt personal apologies, even though I would reiterate it's not actually my fault. It's not my fault, you guys, I swear! This is going to be interesting. Again, I usually avoid painting infantry anywhere close to this scale at all costs, because it's just fiddly as all fuck. And I've got a couple little bits here where my support's connected that I didn't get cleaned up, and that's just my laziness. I'm just going to paint around them. I really want... See, that's the thing, too. One of the nice things about 3D printing miniatures is on these I can always tell myself, like, oh, I can make more of these later. Wolfenspawn with the biddies. Dropping them right on my fucking head. Thank you so much, man. I want these figures done so that I can play and post some decent pictures of them. And then my usual urge comes in like, oh, but wait, you need to paint them really well because, you know, you've only got so many of them. Well, that's the thing. I don't. I have as many as I want. So I'm just going to get these painted, and if I don't like the paint job, I'll continue playing with them and make some other ones. Not that I want to paint a whole bunch of 12mm infantry. I'd like to paint as few of them as I possibly can, or as I need to. Like, I need to do any of this. Like, I need the figures for this game. I think you know that kind of need. It's a real relative sort of need. Oh, I mean, as far as, let's try and fail at glazing for the first time to try to get a laser lens. Hey, you know what? There's no way to succeed except by failing numerous times. At least that's what I've learned. As far as 3D Builder goes, I think I should note that one of these guys, rather, so there were 3 poses of Centurion, and I hope Rick doesn't mind me doing this, we'll find out. There were 3 poses of Centurion. This one on the far right, where he's aiming both of his guns, is not one that was actually given to me, but I took the left arm off of one, the right arm off of the other, and then the legs from the third, and combined them into this one who is aiming both of his guns forward. I did that in 3D Builder, just with simple cuts and shifts. That's a good tip, Greg. Yeah, I'm gonna do his little fingers in the same color, I think. You do have little hands on the ends of their little arms there. They're remarkably detailed figures. It's getting that detail to show up that's gonna be tricky, because they're so small. Little fellas. I knew I definitely wanted to paint them separately from their bases. I tried printing some attached to their bases and painting them that way, and that sucked. I didn't like that at all. Got like little utility packs on, or little generators or something. I feel like these should be a less painted, more mechanical color. So I'm thinking these colors, and then purple on their little tabards, and then some green across their eyes, and they'll have a good amount of color for the size that they are. That's the thing, is I can't bring myself to spend that much time on these little dudes. When the point of the game... Okay, the point of the game is not the mechs, but it's definitely a big point of the game. And I'd rather spend my time on painting them. Now, the fact that they're this detailed actually works to my benefit in that way, because I was able to achieve everything I've done so far with nothing but dry brushing and washing. And now I'm going to achieve, well, I'm going to try to achieve quite a bit with just glazing over top of that. But you guys know that, you see me do that all the time. Puck Duncher. Puck Duncher. Puck, that'd be duck, oh my god, wow. So you remember how I was saying that my brain isn't working right today? Well, there it was, ladies and gentlemen. That fucking obvious of a joke was completely lost on me. Puck Duncher, welcome to the stream. And thank you for the follow. And apologies for my barely functioning brainstem right now. How hard would it be to scale those up to 28mm? Oh, Coral, not hard at all. They wouldn't even look bad. There is more detail on these figures. Like, honestly, he put in more detail to these figures than he had to. There's more detail on these guys than is actually showing up here. If you printed them at 28mm, they would look, I think, fine. I think. The minigun might be a little funky. I don't know, though. It's worth a shot. I think the detail would translate really quite well. You get me thinking about trying that. Because they're good-looking figures. They've got a solid design to them. Tiny robots in a box. What's up, man? Good to see you. Doing it angry. Having problems. Do one in 28mm. Ah, fuck it. I'll start one printing. I need to print a new Annihilator because the one I did for O'Coral earlier came out a little stupid. I left a couple of islands. Some things didn't get printed, and it is too small. Somebody was saying earlier that Sylogy left the scale a little small, and that person was correct. It's like the size of a Wolverine, and that's not right. Now, I'm one of the people who usually claims that the people who make atlases super huge are out of their damn minds and atlases aren't supposed to be that big, but even I can tell that the Annihilator was supposed to be bigger than that. Even I. I might do those little chest panels in purple. And then maybe this crest in purple. I don't know. It's either I do just purple on the little tabards hanging between their legs, like either that's the only place I do purple, or I want to pick a couple spots on the armor to do purple as well. I'm thinking maybe these chest panels and the crest, but I'm not sure. I kind of feel like I'm just going to start with the tabard and see how that looks, and then I can add on from there. I can always make more things purple. It's trickier to make purple things white again. A bot that counts viewers' votes for colors, so we can suggest or mandate colors from you. That's an interesting idea, Greg, and also no. I would just ignore your suggestions most of the time anyway, unless you were suggesting the things that I already wanted to use. So, I don't think you would enjoy that. Besides, it would just be people going, oh, make it pink! Make it pink, which ironically was actually a good suggestion in at least one case. But, I'm just saying. Once you're on the internet, it's like you can't help yourself. There's a little backpack here. The chest plate and the left shoulder. That could work. That could work. Why the left shoulder? Is there a reason for that, or was it just a random choice? Did both of his hands? I need to do his backpack. By the way, welcome to anyone who might be new to the stream. That's been happening more and more. I guess I should stop assuming that everybody in here is necessarily a regular since Twitch has started throwing me at a few other people. To anyone who is not familiar with the stream or might just be joining us, if you are working on something artistic during the stream, which I strongly encourage, because I think that's just cool as hell, if there's anything you've been working on today, if there's anything you're excited to share, be it miniature painting, be it photography, be it cross-stitching, be it a particularly exciting game of patty cake that you won against your infant child, please feel free to post an image in the stream review channel on the Discord. Towards the end of the stream, I like to go in there and just kind of review the pictures for the day, see what other people have been working on. Elkpine chasing the storm, welcome to the Storm Chasers. Thank you so much for the follow. Good to have you, my man. It was the Discord, that's what drew him in. He was like, I don't know if I'm gonna follow this guy. And then I started plugging my shit, and he was like, whoa, he's serious.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like you're trying to get inside the lines.
Haven't fucked up anything yet. Not one thing have I... Like, I shouldn't say that. That glorb is gonna fucking curse me. I feel like that's almost the only blue that I want to do on these guys. I kind of want to leave them mostly white. I'm really not going to beat myself up about leaving these guys pretty sloppy, because for God's sake, they're fucking tiny. I don't know how much detail I really care to put on them. I might get another wash. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I know I want to do their rifles. I know I want to do their little crotch tabards. Not really rifles. I guess they have more like SMGs. These core marines are using what are called laser repeaters, which I am under the impression are meant to be more of an SMG type weapon. They're certainly closer range, more rapid fire, and they're not armor piercing. I think it's interesting that the primary infantry type for the core republic are basically boarders. But you know, they're meant to be sort of like Roman legionnaires, what with their big crazy shields and all. I guess they got what look like little pouches. I could do the little pouches in this color. What material do I print with? Puck Duncher, I have been using Elegoo brand's resins. Very recently I switched to their water washable type, and I am never going back. I love it. It's the best thing ever, and everyone should use it. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the water washable stuff. Yeah, I'm going to do their little hip pouches, just to break up the scheme a little bit, because otherwise they're going to be difficult to tell one part from the other. They're clearly supposed to be wearing somewhat modern tactical gear over their mildly anachronistic armor suits. So they've got some hip pouches, and then they've got like magazine pouches on their chests. Don't mind the little support deals on here. I missed cleaning a few of them up, but it's tricky. It's tricky printing infantry this size and getting rid of all the supports. But I did these guys kind of fast at the last minute. But again, like I was saying earlier, I want to get these guys done so I can play with them, and then if I want to spend some time doing really pretty looking ones, well, I'll start on that after I have the tabletop ones done, you know? It's a bit too much color. I'd like to pull a little bit of that off. Alright. Looking into resin printers for a while. Have an Ender 3, but would love the detail you can achieve with a resin printer. I started with an Ender 3, and that's what I've got going up there right now. Puck Duncher, and the exact same thing is what drew me into resin printing. I picked up an Elegoo Mars on sale, and I have never regretted that purchase. It was fantastic. I think maybe I'm going to do these studs on the edges of the shield in this color, because I'm going to do the shields in purple. Might be nice to have something to break that up. And yeah, since I've acquired a resin printer and learned to use it, I have purchased and assembled shockingly few models from other sources. It's been a huge money saver for me. Today is one of the first days that I'm going to be building a model that I purchased from someone else for quite some time. I really haven't done that in a while. I don't know if this is worth the effort. I'll do it on these guys. We'll see how we like it. I've got about 6 more squads, so if I don't like it, I'll do it differently next time. I'm probably doing it the wrong way around. I should probably do the purple first, but this is what I have on hand, so this is what we're doing. Probably won't wind up contrasting enough with the purple to make any damn sense. That's going to be my guess now that I'm second-guessing myself. It's just going to look like poo-poo. Poo-poo models! That's what we do here. Thunderhead making poo-poo! Ugh. Oh, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Anyone else feel the earthquake? Which one? Missing supports during cleanup. Yeah, no, that's how I do. That's how I do, Flavolicious. I'm pretty lazy about these things. What's up, Amax? Good to see you. Yeah, these are really fucking small. Like, really, really fucking small. The ones in, oh, Idaho did. There were the ones over in Utah just recently. So maybe, as we all die coughing, we will be spared our miserable ends by the fucking Yellowstone supervolcano exploding and choking us all with ash. 2020. It's fantastic. I'll tell you though, when we come out the other end of this, it's going to be, like, the world is going to be ripe for picking by the lunatic conspiracy theorists all over again. It's going to be just like the post 9/11 years. Oh, God. But that's all poo-poo, and I don't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about poo-poo. Can we not talk about poo-poo? Let's put the poo-poo where it belongs. In the toilet. Or send it to Amax. I don't know, she might be into that sort of thing. I'm sorry, Amax. Like, that was uncalled for. This is just downright rude, really. Alright. But I mean, you come in here. You're inviting me to be a giant asshole. Oh, come on, I'm eating. Fuck. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Amax. This is how I express my frustration with the world, is by being an asshole to the people that I know. I'm such a healthy, well-adjusted person. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other squads of infantry here. I'm just going to focus on these ones for right now because I don't want to commit to anything without any of them finished. This is going to be our testers. So I'm going to scoot them off to the side a little bit here. Let's do some of this same work for our larger figure. Going back to the Sierra. Dyslexic Mayan predicted 2012 and meant 2021. Hey. Cool blue next to purple. Shift the purple to more of a warm magenta. It'll contrast. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Maybe we'll do just that. I need my other figure here for reference while I do this so I get the right parts. Oh, and the guy who I postponed for, that was supposed to be here to do some appliance work, didn't fucking show. He's gonna be here tomorrow, apparently. Joy. I'm so glad I waited. It was a pain in the ass getting people out here to work on stuff before Randall Flagg started his march across the U.S., and it's even worse now. And I just have to smile and take it when they cancel, because what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Blizzard headed in tomorrow and Thursday. Oh boy. Another one. Isn't that just fantastic? Didn't we just have one, like, last fucking week? Or maybe, well, I mean, you're far enough away, you might just have to suffer that one. Maybe I won't have to deal with another blizzard, that'd be nice for me. Less so for you, but... what can I say, Cat? I'm more concerned with my own immediate circumstances. I'm sorry. And everything up the back of the leg. Definitely making these parts bluer on this mech, and then I'm going to go in and dull them down with a black wash afterwards, I think. Whereas I made them much darker to start with on the other one. I'm trying to get used to the idea of using higher and higher contrast on my regular painting and then correcting it with washes afterwards. I talk enough about the technique, but I don't use it as often as I should. It's very effective, though. That's what I wound up doing on Kontos, was coming back in with some nearly yellow-orange highlights and then washing the whole thing red. I think I've salvaged the glazing catastrophe. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and you know what you're painting for. If you're looking for a tabletop level, then that should just be fine. And this is why I'm not moving to Colorado. Man, I'll take the blizzards if I don't have to have those fucking summers. Oh, is that so? Well, yeah, but you live in the Great White North, man. I live in the Midland Gray Northerly. The North relative to, like, Texas. Batten down the hatches, man. But you live fairly urban, don't you, Glaive? I'm pretty sure you do. Given your work and all, that would make sense anyway. I live out in the middle of nowhere, so when blizzards hit me, it's just like, well, hope I don't need anything for a while. And by hope, I mean I'm hopefully prepared for this. But that's tricky to do these days. Preparation is in short supply. That said, I do have generators, I do have a reasonable amount of gas. I should be alright. But if Mother Nature could stop going fucking crazy and trying to kill everybody, that'd be stupendous. Because it's getting fucking old. And while we're at it, if people could stop eating, like, bats and fucking pangolins and shit, that'd be cool too. You know, while I'm wishing for things, stop eating pangolins. I'm a little astonished that I have to even ask that, but China's a weird place. Inside of the knee here. And the rear part of this thigh portion. Have any undercarriage to do? Not really, but I'll slap some in there anyway. It's pretty much just primer black. But I might want to touch that up with some details. Not gonna do these yet because I still have to do the stripe. I'm playing an instrumental version of one of my least favorite songs by Scandroid. Like, it's already shitty even when there are words. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Hethrier. I'd rather take the blizzards than have it be too hot. I was right now years old before I learned there was a supernatural Scooby-Doo crossover. Wow, really? That happened, I want to say fairly recently, but I feel like it actually happened a couple of years back. I need an Irby so I can paint it like the Trash Can Man. Sentient Pickle, yes, he does. I think Sylogy does really quite nice STL work. Sylogy is not a Battletech player, nor is he particularly interested in the lore, so not all of his stuff always makes the most sense or conforms to what you'd be expecting it to, but the quality of his STLs for raw printing is very high. What in the motherfuck? Just stop that. He needs to deepen a lot of details like cockpit glass. Yeah. He spends more time fixing internal geometry and thickening walls than he does deepening details. But that's necessary because, I mean, for a long time, the only files you could find online to print mechs, particularly on Thingiverse, that were ripped from MWO were just taken right from the MWO files and shoved onto Thingiverse. And as a result, many of them just did not print well at all. Many of them printed quite shittily. That has been changing. And at this point, most of the files you find are going to be fairly high quality, but for a good long while there, Sylogy was one of the few creators that had easy to print files. As compared to really quickly ripped kind of shitty files. Now there are a lot more people doing that, though. 3D printing has grown a lot in the last couple of years, and 3D printing Battletech in particular has grown hugely. I don't know if there are many tabletop game communities that have been as affected by the 3D printing increase as Battletech has. It's pretty impressive. need to clean this up a little bit. I need a little bit of water. Yeah, that'll do. Not doing anything crazy on the blade for this guy. Applying the same logic as I do with the infantry, that if I want to come back and do some crazy effect on it, get this one done and ready for play, and then print another one up, which I think I'm probably going to do. I'll probably start another one of these prints a little bit later today. And this... I like what he's done with these elbows, honestly, by making it like this sort of soft rubber sleeve over some imagined mechanism beneath. Because you can pose this arm almost any way you want. And you don't have to worry about the elbow, as long as you connect the little rubber rigid part. Realized I shouldn't paint that part, but I did it on the other one already, so we're just going to lean into it. Worst part is I'm on a swamp cooler and it's just not enough. Yeah, summers can get pretty rough. I know the feeling, Sentient Pickle. Like, I've made my share of things. I don't think of myself as a 3D designer per se. I make some things, but I still come back to my first love of painting at the end of it. And ultimately, the designing, it serves another function. You know, that serves the actual hobby, which is painting things. The fact that I'm able to design things that I can then paint, well, that's just fucking gravy. Gravy. Oops. Oopsies.
You know, there's something about mech paint jobs that really just brings a tear to my eye, and sometimes a tightness to my pants.
Sometimes.
This stream has a lot of the latter.
Sometimes. Got your pants tightness right here. Let's see if I can't expand my clips a little bit tonight. I got a couple of clips in mind. I just got to put them into OBS and rig them up to a button. Rig them up to a button. I'm thinking about switching OBS lately too. I don't know. My buddy Daylate Gamer uses OBS Live, which is a browser-based OBS, and it seems to work really well for him. My immediate thought is like, oh, but what if I lose internet connection? But then I thought about that for like 3 seconds, and I realized if I lose internet connection, I'm not streaming anyway. Like, it's not a realistic concern. Or maybe it's a realistic concern, but it's not a valid one. What am I missing? I think I got just about everything. This one there, it's just highlighting, right? Yeah. Alright, do the next one. Another Sierra, in a bit of a... I'm not sure what I think this one's doing. in this pose here. He's either charging... I think he's charging, because look, he's leaning way forward. Look at his feet. I think this is a charge with an arm in front of him to, like, block incoming fire or something. And, in fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll take this little divot here. This was one of the first ones I printed, and the supports were not as pretty. I might take this little divot here on his elbow, where a support did connect, and turn that into a bullet hole and do a few more. Please give me Tron Legacy clips. I'm gonna... no. just no. You can't have them. I'm gonna be doing, like, bullshit from the 80s and 90s for the most part, Greg. But if you've got something that fits into that time frame that you want me to... You can have some Tron clips, if that's what you want. Just classic Tron, with the young Jeff Bridges as opposed to the youngified Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridgeotron, as he is known. Could have asked for Pacific Rim 2 Uprising, yeah, but you know that that is a fucking pipe dream. It's never gonna happen. Yeah, see, Cat knows. Cat's on top of this shit. Priming, base coating, dry brushing, and then inking and detail work. That is... Yes, Sentient Pickle, that's very close to what I'm doing. This that you see here before you was primed black, airbrushed a few different colors of gray to get my base coat up, dry brushed white, and then black washed with a very, very, very thin wash that was mostly flow aid, honestly. I need to stop telling you guys what I don't like so that I can devalue the forced compliment. Toxic Avenger clips? I could see that. What's up, Papa Bear? Good to see you. I could see Toxie making his way in. I'm starting with, like, RoboCop and Starship Troopers. And a couple of Kurt Russell movies. You know, it's only as I start to paint this guy that I realize how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to do the purple stripe with his arm in this position. Oh well. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. What black wash do I use? I use Army Painter Quick Shade Dark Tone with a generous amount of Liquitex Flow Aid. Generally, if I say I'm using a wash, I'm probably starting with an Army Painter Quick Shade product. I fell into using them a few years back, and I have never felt the need to switch away. I like them quite a bit. Yeah, I've got a couple of... I'm avoiding tide marks for the most part. And I'm not too worried about them. If I get really nasty tide marks, I'll usually go after them and do a little bit of texturing on top, and I barely notice them after that. Found an old anime series I'd never seen, Metal Armor Dragonar. I've never even heard of that. Why the hell does my chat keep putting salt shakers on top of what people say? It's really getting frustrating. Yeah, Escape from... No, okay, not Escape from LA. Cat, no. I do have Escape from New York in that list, though. I've never heard of Dragonar. That's weird. My chat over here, like I'm looking right at it, Lord Hethrier said, I have to look up, I'm a little surprised he doesn't have any clips from Starship Troopers, given his somewhat ironic enjoyment of quoting that movie. I do have some that are coming. But it's put a bunch of salt shakers over your damn text over here, and I have no idea why. It just knows. It knows how salty you are. Big Trouble in Little China. Well, I mean...
Like I told my last wife, I says, honey, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's all in the reflexes.
On top of it. That was one of the first ones I clipped. I am salty as fuck. Hey, I'm always down for some Roddy Piper or Tiny Robots. His episodes of It's Always Sunny were some of my favorite ones. Rest in peace, Roddy. That is more than I meant to put on. And I'll just keep adding movie clips until I become famous and somebody's like, we should sue that guy, and then I'll stop. And lose all the money that I've made. And it will have been a fantastic ride. You know, I will have become famous worldwide. The Storm Chasers will have become like a registered religious institution by then. Cat will probably be running like a sort of Thunderhead youth program where we brainwash children into my political leanings. It's really amazing what we become in the future. Before I lose it all. Still getting into the Storm Chasers, just means I'll have to wait longer, but when I do, it'll be much sweeter. Oh, you'll get Insentient Pickle. Yeah. That's accurate. And Storm Chasers get canonized by CGL. No, by then CGL's out of the picture. We get canonized by Fantasy Flight Games, who have purchased Battletech. It's a weird future, man. Use clips from Weinstein movies. He's too busy right now to sue. That's the truth. There's a little bit of good news in the world, right? At least Weinstein's getting fucked.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
I will. Thank you. Yes, puppy, I hear you. I'm well aware. There we go. On the machine gun. It's not really a machine gun, it's like a big-ass autocannon, but you know. Relatively speaking, at this guy's size, it is machine gun-esque. Though he does have two machine guns on his other hand. Hey! Fuck you think you're doing? bad beast. Yes. Yes, Gwynny, I see you. I know. You want me to pay attention to you, yes. She says, I've been running around in the yard all day, boss. Let me tell you about the time that I ran across the yard and then ran back across the yard and then ran across the yard again. Don't burn the place down while I'm gone. Don't fucking tell me what to do. I'll burn this place down. No, that's fine. Thanks, Cat. Thanks for the heads up. Right. That's all good. Don't need any there. Do these jet nozzles here. Has anybody heard this rumor? This Keanu Reeves might come back for a Justice League Dark movie where he plays Constantine. Has anybody else heard this? Somebody was telling me this. And it sounds like just Mad Cat bullshit to me. What the fuck do you want, dog? You're making your presence known, clearly. Yes, yes, I see you. Oh my god. Gwynny. No, don't get caught in the cable. Go to your pillow. Gwynny, go to your pillow and lay down, you fool. Lay down and take a nap because you've been running around like crazy all day. You know what to do. I swear to God. Psycho Dolly, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. It's going, it's going. Not a rumor. IMDb confirms. Ah, shit. Okay. Sentient Pickle, I'm going with the, Don't speak to me in such tones. I'm going with the... What's it called? Scarlet Solo. Well, the thing is, I needed to get the Scarlet Solo anyway to connect my PC to an XLR microphone. And they have a deal on Amazon where you get the Scarlet Solo and also some XLR cables and also some nice headphones, and also a microphone for only 180 bucks. And I did some research, and everybody seems to think that the microphone that's included is roughly on par with the AT2020 as it is. Like, there's not that much functional dip. So for $180 for all that, I am all over it. And then hopefully my voice will sound a little bit better. A little bit better. I'm all about the kit. I'm all about the gear. I love making upgrades. I really do. Like, I would do that even if it didn't make sense. It's my own sort of retail therapy, you know? What are you up to, Psycho Dolly? How you been? How's your streaming going? Your friend started streaming today. Is she the one who does the prop work? Because she's very talented. Yamaha 10-channel mixer, 2020 running into overkill, but it was on sale. Well, shit, if it's on sale, snatch it up while you can. That's very cool. I'm going to have to check that out, Psycho Dolly. You have to throw me a link to her channel. fingers. These funny little robot fingers. Like so. I think they are gonna get one more dry brush after this. Just a light one. Just like one stroke of the brush each, you know? One little stroke. Got that, got the antenna. I need to do the front of my missile launcher here, and then I need to re-up my coal black a little bit because I've just about used it up. But that's a good sign. I like it when I put paint down on my palette, and I do what I intend to do, and by the time I get to the end of it, I'm like, oh, I've used my paint up. That indicates that I have estimated something properly, which is exciting, because I never estimate anything properly. It's all just simple tricks and nonsense. Boop, 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 boop. I think that's everything for that color, isn't it? Fingers, blade, armpits, knees, insides of the legs, between the toes. Yeah. Alright, so we got two tones down on our Sierras so far. They're coming together. Gotta head out soon. Well, hey, thanks for stopping in, Lord Friendly. It's always good to see you. Oh, was that the Link Psycho Dolly? Did it fucking turn it into asterisks? I'm sorry. Do me a favor and throw that to me in a PM or something. Alright. So, I'm gonna work on the infantry a little bit, and I think I'm going to start putting down some purple because I need to see how that's gonna look. The question is, do I use violet or magenta? And I'm thinking magenta with a purple wash over it. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's going to go down better. Yeah. I might do a purple wash for the shadows. Because I brought the stripe on the Sierra pretty high up into the magenta range. Thin this a bit, and we're just going to go one at a time and see how it does. Yeah, the warm to cool contrast rocking. Yeah, particularly since I have so little space to work with, Greg, I think that's absolutely essential. Out for the night. Critique on how to improve your Comstar for stream review would be appreciated. Definitely. I'll put that up for you, Commissar Iguana. Good night, man. Thanks for coming in. Sorry I got started a little bit later tonight, but things got a little out of hand. Every stream can't be perfect, you guys. Every stream can't be the most amazing thing to ever hit Twitch. I've only got so many of those in me, you know? So I've got to reserve myself just a little bit. Oh, thanks for saying so, Greg. Every stream of mine is perfect, says Greg the Salt Miner. If he said it, you know it's true. He's a professional. A professional what? I leave that to you to determine.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere.
Not one
like
glorb has been legitimate. Not one. Not a single solitary one. Bullshit. Maybe even not that much of a purple wash, maybe just a real subtle one, because this is actually going down pretty nice. I may lean the stripes on the future Sierras more in the magenta direction to match this, is what I'll do, because this actually looks really good. They're not meant to be legit. Well, as long as they're not meant to be, then I guess it's okay. Bob Ross calls gloves happy little accident. I should listen to you more often. Red-based brown or red-black into that magenta. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting note. Though I think I might just lean into the pre-existing highlight instead of trying to get a deeper shadow. Because I really like how this magenta looks, particularly with the white armor. I could spend an absolutely unreasonable amount of time trying to detail these little assholes, but I'm just not gonna do that. Because I've got a bunch of them to paint, and they're teeny fucking tiny. As long as they have a couple of good colors on them, and their main details are fairly distinguishable at a distance, they will be effective. Effective is the name of the game. It's a boring-ass game, but it is called effective. I don't know the rules. I've never been very good at it. I think I'm going to do the shields in just the same damn color. I'm going to thin it just a bit more, though, because it is a broader surface. Taking off Pond Burn. Hey, thanks for sticking around, man. The rust red base would look good with southern gears. Yeah, I know that Terra Nova has like a big equatorial desert that they fight over, doesn't it? I remember that from playing the game. Looking at the maps and whatnot. I don't want to waste too much time on the little details on these guys, because part of me is thinking I might do a quick free-handed symbol on their shield. I don't know if I really will or not, but I've been thinking about it quite a lot. Just something simple. On the other hand, that might be really, really stupid. Yeah, Gwynny, I hear you. You want to go and run free with the fucking rabbits outside, but that's not what we're doing, is it? That's pretty nice. I am glad that we went with the magenta. It's garish, but most of what I paint is pretty garish. I can dull it down if I need to. The beat reminds me of KMFDM. This is Scan Droid, I believe. The full-on combined arms company. Oh, for heavy gear, yeah. You say Terra Nova, all I think of is that sci-fi show. I wanted that show to be better than it was. I really did. Gwynny, you are being a pill and you need to calm down. Yeah, you know. Go to your pillow. You're not dumb. You know this tone of voice. Uh-huh. I'll give you the fucking look if I have to. Paint rack came out nice. I need to get it mounted. That's going to take a little bit of work, but it came out looking quite excellent. I have those days when I'm like, okay, today's workshop upgrade mode, let's take everything apart. I'll probably put it up at the same time that I change out my microphone when that gets here. Yeah, shields are a little uneven, but that's okay. I'm just trying to figure out the few strokes that I can do to make these guys fairly quick. Because I have a bunch of them to do. Shields look better when I do a little spatter of damage on them, too. Well, the many things I want to print out whenever we get to printing. What'd you do with your $1,200? Oh, a Prusa i3, no big deal. I just bought myself a couple 3D printers. That happens to be exactly the price of a starter box I wanted to pick up. Spending that stimulus wisely. Well, I'm not quite as rambunctious tonight as I usually am. It's been a busy couple days, a little draining few days. I mean, it's been draining for everybody. I think these last couple of weeks have been, really. You're not feeling drained.
Canopian catgirls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. Maybe it's just my allergies.
That could make for a nice pick-me-up, some Canopian catgirls. You know where to order some, let me know. I might hit their face plates with a bit of green, at least the ones that you can see, because some of them you really can't.
You know, there's something about mech paint jobs that really just brings a tear to my eye.
What's
and
up,
sometimes
Carla?
a tightness to my pants.
How you been?
This
How are
stream
things?
has a lot of the latter.
I'm gonna hit their face plates with this Dr. P.H. Martin's Emerald. And then maybe a quick highlight. Well, I'm not going to put it next to the magenta. It's going to be almost exclusively next to the white. It's going to be cool regardless, though. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm both sorry and happy to hear that. Sorry that you were feeling bleh. Happy that you're no longer feeling bleh. I can't even come close to reaching all of their faceplates. Some of them are really down deep in there, but the ones that I can, I'm going to. Because they're cool looking sculpts, these Marines. I didn't necessarily do them justice with my quick ass print job, but they're good looking. I said, this is a case, too, where if you wanted to print these at a higher scale, they would actually look pretty decent. They're well detailed. They're better detailed than this scale really gives them credit for. Does them justice, gives them credit. I don't know. That's not good English. That's bad English. Let's see. I need to do a smoother job on the shields next time. I'll fix that up with some battle damage. I was thinking about trying to do a free-handed symbol on their shields, and I just don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about doing it, I'm thinking, I don't want to do it. I have, like, 50 of these assholes. I'm not gonna do it. Why would I choose to freehand something on every single instance of a mass infantry model? What is wrong with my brain? I'm not gonna do that. I'm sitting here talking about trying to get these guys done quick for painting, and I'm like, maybe I'll freehand. Madness. 10 feet away, you won't be able to tell. You just see the cool against the warm. Yeah, that's a good point. What's up, Pez Motion? Good to see you, man. I'll swap over to the power armor guys for a minute. Lay down my magentas. I realized looking up at the camera that painting these tiny little guys is not the most entertaining thing. They're really small. Like, really small. I might not do infantry on stream again, because it's all about my viewing angle, you know? And I realize every time I get my viewing angle and then I look up that your viewing angle is just dog shit. Larger figures it's easier to do, because it's not, you know, as fiddly. I wish I had this magenta when I was painting those Y-Car skeletons, Greg, because honestly, this would have made my job so much... You remember, this is almost exactly the color that I was ultimately using for all the fabric on those skeletons. Don't glorb all over their faces, and just you wait... Start smashing a seagull against the water cistern. Oh man, that scene gets me every damn time. It's really something. Now, okay, the fine details on this power armor are such that they have almost like the Scope Dog style faceplate with the multiple focusing lenses, but at this scale you really can't see them. Like, even with it in person here in front of me, I can't see that detail. It just doesn't come out. So I'm painting them with more of a visor across the plate where the lenses would be. And I'm messing it up.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere.
Okay, that was
It's not like we're
fairly
trying to
legitimate.
get inside the lines or anything.
Fairly legitimate use. Touché. Boop. Get some water on there. Let's try and pull some of this off. Without spreading it around too much. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to lean into it somewhat. The majority of it's not going to come off. That's okay. I think a little bit of green on his face is actually going to look pretty good. I think. I hope. Maybe. We'll find out. Themes of isolation, madness, and monotony in that movie are speaking to me even more right now. Pez Motion, he is talking about The Lighthouse. And, yeah, a lot of the themes in The Lighthouse are particularly relevant right now for a lot of people, I feel like. Not just the isolation, but the truth of it. The lies that permeate that film, the egocentric lies that the characters tell themselves and that they tell each other. And how it doesn't really matter at the end. The truth has a way of coming out. I'd say that has some relevance these days. But then I don't want to get too deep into that subject. Because that's a can of shitty worms. Not even a regular worm, shit worms. Which I don't know if you've ever encountered shit worms, they're not pleasant. That really, I overdid it on his face there, but you see what I'm going for, right? I don't know if I should have done that to their faces. I'm starting to regret it now. On the next pair, I might try just doing a couple of dots. Because it doesn't actually look like a visor, it just looks like I smeared green paint on their goddamn face. Oh well, they'll look a little different than the other ones. This is why we do test models. I actually think that the miniguns look pretty good, even with just that one wash over top of them. And then their little purple tabards, it's tricky to see on here. Like I said, this is why I'm not going to do this infantry on stream again, because I can't get the light right. When I take some pictures later, you'll get a better view for how they actually came out. But hey, there's some power armor. Let's try a slightly different tact with this next set. And then I'm going to dry brush some bases. Think I hear the asteroids machine calling my name. Well, you have fun, Silvery Demise. Thanks for hanging out. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, I think probably some more purple on these guys. I'm doing just the tabards right now, but they're begging for some more color. Maybe the left shoulder. To match up with the fact that the left side of the vehicles have a stripe on them. I could do a stripe, but oh god, that just seems miserable on these. It's not that it's not possible, it's that I don't want to do it for the number of them that I'm going to have to paint, you know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the left shoulder on one of these guys that I've already kind of fucked up the faces on. I don't know. I'm really undecided on these guys, somehow. And I can't get them to show up all that well on camera. I'll leave that one and I'll ponder it. I need to stare at that one a little bit more before I decide if I want to continue it. Finishing my designated sub-goal for my homework portfolio piece, headed to HEB for some quick groceries, home for some pasta and wife cuddles. Tell Lydia hi for me, man. I didn't mean that to sound suggestive. It did sound a little bit suggestive. I didn't mean it that way. Sincerely tell Lydia hi for me. At this scale, I'm not doing much more than just making a dark dot on their face, but, you know, that can work. These guys are really fucking small. I know people paint smaller infantry than this, but this is something fairly new to me. I know I paint 6mm scale stuff in Battletech, I realize that. But you'll note I don't paint little tiny troopers for the most part. I avoid it because it's hellacious. Hellacious! Still, I think the 3 small dots are effective. As opposed to just the green face, I think that looks better. You really can't see the purple on their tabards in the camera. You know, the shadows really just wash it right out. I'm gonna put these guys down for the time being. I've got them to a point where I can put a couple on a base, and oh, that's the other thing I need to remember. I am gonna get more color on these guys, on all these guys, because I'm gonna be dusting around their feet with red. And I need to remember that. Speaking of red dust, I'm gonna do a touch of dry brushing on these bases so that I've got somewhere for these models to go. And what did I use last time? I think I used Goldfag Brown, right? Citadel Dry Compound. And I believe I used Kindle Flame. Well. And then I feel, lastly, I used Eldar Flesh. I guess I could probably check, or I could have even checked before this, but that just doesn't... Like, what's the fun? What's the fun in knowing for sure that you're right about something when you could wildly fucking guess and hope that you remember properly? Dog is making ridiculous sounds. When she finally does fall asleep, she's all whines and whimpers and groans and grumbles and yips. Goldfag Brown may be largely unnecessary. I'm still going to do it. It puts a little bit more brown into this and takes some of the edge off the orange. Oh God, I hope not. I need this pot over here. Really isn't doing much, is it? Like, I can barely see it in person. I know you probably can't see it at all on the camera. That's a little better. That's a little better. Not much. I'm gonna try switching right to Kindle Flame and see how much that hurts me. I don't think it will. The first one I did more layers on, but the first one of any test scheme is always a bit more involved than the process that I developed to assembly line it. Yeah, I think that's better. I should refocus because I was super close to the camera before, and now I'm further out. Right about in there. What are you up to tonight, Carla? Pretty quiet night. Nice and chill. You know, chill's what I need right now, though. A lot of excitement. A lot of excitement that I don't want to deal with out there. Yeah, that looks nice. One more highlight on top of that will be gold, and that's a 3-step process, and that's not half bad. I picked up painting Metal Griffin for Vix, possibly. Plastic Locust. I like the new Locust. It really is a good design. I mean, I love the classic Unseen. I like all the Unseen, but some of the updates are truly, truly excellent, and the Locust is one of them. You say Vix, you mean Victors? It seems like a lot of Victors. Oh, vehicles. I gotcha. These are the tank bases, which have gone to some effort to ensure that the final glue down space is clear, explaining why there's basically nothing in the middle of these bases. But I still feel the need to put down grit for some stupid reason. What the hell. It seemed like the thing to do at the time. I'm gonna get to assembling these Legion figures in a minute. Looking forward to playing that game a little bit more. I've been playing a lot of Battletech, a lot of classic Battletech lately, and it just, man, much as I love the game, you play enough of it, at least I play enough of it, and I get to a point where I'm just like, I want something simple. Just give me something dumbass simple to play for a little while to recover my brain, because oh my god, am I tired of looking at charts. But then a little bit of time will pass and I'll just be right back into it. Yeah, it's sort of the nature of hobbies like this. I know there's some people out there who, man, they get into a game, and it's just like play, become expert at game, play some more, go to tournaments, play, go to World Championship, play. I mean, oh my god. I've been like that with a couple of games, but I get tired of basically anything I'm playing eventually. I think because I tend to, when I really get into something, I do it to exhaustion. My tag will be the ADD Gamer. I mean, it's just accurate. Yeah, I'm the same way, Roland. Like, I've got the few games that I always circle back around to. And Battletech is one of them. Battletech is one that has never left me, and I doubt it ever will. Nope, don't drop that. These are the little 25mm bases for the Revelations infantry, by the way. 4 Marines go on one base or 1 power armor. So I should have enough here to base all these ones once I get done painting them. Too much like work that way. Yeah. And that's the thing, too. If what I'm doing and enjoying starts to feel too much like work, I stop enjoying it. And if I just push through that, it doesn't get better. If anything, it gets worse. I begin to resent the thing. I start to find reasons that I dislike the thing, and then it takes me even longer to come back to it when I try to later. But if I just let myself go for a little bit, stop thinking about it, and let it come back naturally, I roll around pretty quick. The one thing that remains true is I paint far more than I play in every single system. But I think a lot of gamers are that way, honestly. At least in my experience. Which is infallible. I love being able to print bases like this. This is... Like, yeah, the Ender 3 is cool and the resin printer is cool for so many reasons, but one of the smallest and still very neat features is that when I need something simple, like I need a base in a particular size, I pop that shit together in like Fusion 360 and print it out in an hour. I still remember the days of buying special-sized bases. Most of that market has gone to like laser-cut MDF these days, but I skip even that. I get nice plastic bases. Definitely painted more Kill Team than I've played. War Machine, not so much. But War Machine is unique in that it is a game that is designed to be played. And I realize that sounds a little silly. All games are designed to be played. But I mean, that game is designed to be fucking played and played and played and played and played some more and played again and taken to a tournament and then played again and then you take it home and then you play with your friends and then you get your other guy. Like, just it's a gameplay-centric game. I think the focus of Privateer Press on all those games, they've really, really narrowed it down to the gameplay kind of comes first. Not that they don't have nice models, they do. I'm still not really a fan of the aesthetic of them, but that's just personal preference. It's not because there's anything wrong with them. You know? But the game systems that they put so much time into are fucking tight. Not that they haven't had issues. I know that they got, like, just really, really broken around the time that Crix first came out, but they address their issues in a reasonable amount of time, and fairly intelligently from what I've seen. My complaints about War Machine were never that the game wasn't good. They were that I didn't enjoy playing it. I miss War Machine. Why do you miss it? It's still around. They just not get games anymore, Papa Bear. I know how that goes. Isn't the War Machine universe dead? Like they had an apocalypse or something? I don't know, Carla. I'm not sure. The Infernal's invaded. It's still going forward. Okay, yeah, sure. Captain Toilet Bowl Cleaner and Mark 1. I know they're doing that Neo Mechanica thing right now that's probably going to receive a lot of focus from their development cycle. See, Pretzel, here's an example of a time that you should not have done the thing that you did. Stop that. I backed it, and we've done a couple of placeholder games. What do you think so far, Heather? I mean, I would assume it's pretty much just War Machine.
I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
For God's sake, I'm dry brushing. Yes. It's a little sloppy. Alright, going to Eldar Flesh. It's actually quite fun, and no, it's not. It's quick. I would be interested in hearing more about how you think it's not like War Machine, because not like War Machine interests me. Gotcha! Listening while I gather my men around thy banner. That's right, you're playing, what's its... Mountain Blade 2, right, Flav? What do you think so far, man? I've got my opinions on it, but I also have like 700-something hours clocked in Mountain Blade Warband, so my opinion on Mountain Blade 2 is probably not the most unbiased. I don't think I should... Maybe I should not freely admit how much time I've spent playing Mountain Blade. Like, as I say it out loud, I'm immediately like, that doesn't sound great. 3D movement and shooting. Okay, lots of cues from Fantasy Flight for opposing dice rolls, attack versus defense dice. Interesting. Is it still winner take all, like you kill the enemy caster and you just win? Because I didn't like that. Quarantine has given me the chance to learn the most complicated of games. Played for a bit, but haven't taken them out in 3 or 4 years, maybe. Well, I mean, you know, you might as well get back into it, Papa Bear, if you've got somebody that's willing to sit down and play with you. Which, of course, is always the trick, isn't it? Easier said than done and all that. My Eldar Flesh dry brush compound is almost going bad. It's not quite going bad, but it's almost going bad, and that makes me sad because I actually use it a lot. That's probably why it's going bad, is because I use it a lot. Also much smaller. Huh. I'm at 9 hours. The combat's a bit clunky versus Mordhau, but it's pretty neat, the overall concept and execution. Modding can be a real win. The modding is definitely going to happen. Mods have been a huge part of Mount & Blade for a long time. Most of the best gameplay you get out of Warband is through mods. And they've been very supportive of the modding community in the past. I'd be interested to see what changes from this early access release to the final release, certainly. And yeah, the combat's always been a bit clunky and very difficult to learn. But it's also a combat system that the AI can use fairly effectively. And of course, you know, as much as combat is a big part of the game, it's not something that you're actually forced into doing as part of the game. Hearts of Iron 4, ooh yeah. Didn't they just do an expansion for Hearts of Iron 4? The full Lord of the Rings conversion, I mean, yeah, those exist for Mount & Blade Warband Flav. You give it some time and they will convert those assets over to Mount & Blade 2. They absolutely will. A War of the Ring mod, that's existed for a long time. Has to be one-on scenario. Ooh, that's actually intriguing. That more than anything else I've heard may get me to take a look at this Warcaster Neo Mechanica yada yada bloobity blue. The only thing that you see here on Twitch about it, there are a number of painters that they sponsored to paint their shit, but it's like none of the people who are painting this shit play the fucking game. And it's frustrating, because I've gone into a few streams and been like, hey man, you've got Warcaster Neo Mechanica up on your ticker there, a little banner, you're sponsored, can you tell me about the game? And they go, well, here's one of the models and I'm painting it. And can you tell me about the game? Well, it's got cool models. I mean, I get it. A lot of people paint models that don't play the game, but with something that is as gameplay focused as Neo Mechanica, I guess I would have hoped that they had picked people who talk about gameplay. Warcaster is actually on a command vessel in space. Space! Customize the caster, create a 15-card deck that you cycle through. The largest game is 15-ish models, that's nice. Dedicated duration based on how many turns you take, and you can win by attrition, but it's damn near impossible to pull off. Huh. That actually sounds interesting, Hethrier. I mean, I'm hit with the same thing that I'm always hit with when I consider playing War Machine, which is I don't like the models very much. Like, even the part about them that I don't like isn't the steampunky aspect, it's the overall profile of the, like, Warjacks, for instance, in War Machine. And that profile has very much carried over into their new model line. Like, just take the Warjacks and make them sci-fi-ish and put big guns, bigger guns, more sci-fi-ish looking guns on them, and you pretty much got what they're releasing now. I wish I liked the look of them better. I wish I felt more neutral about the look of them, but I don't. I, like, actively dislike them in many cases. I actually went really heavy on that. Well, that'll be okay. Commission painting has always been a big part of PP's games. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people who play Privateer Press games aren't painters, because, again, like I said, it's a very gameplay-focused system. That is the main part of it. The models are very much secondary. And as a result, you get a lot of people who are just like, put model on field, play game, and thus pay other people to paint their shit if they paint it at all. They favor an overbalanced aesthetic. Yeah, it's like World of Warcraft aesthetic dialed up a few orders of magnitude. No shit, Roland. That's pretty cool. Well, Hethria, you bring some of that shit over sometime, and I'll try the game out with you. I make no promises past that, but I will try it out with you. This seems like a good time. Alright, let me paint these rocks. Yeah, seas of gray and metal. But that's, I mean, to be fair, that is war games in general. War game players are... We've got big eyes and small stomachs. Yep. It's a good plan, Hethrier. I like the sound of that. Also would like to do that sooner rather than later. I'm going to be going fucking stir-crazy over here before all this social distancing bullshit is over. Our Battletech group is all painted. Well, that is an exception to the general rule. And also, congratulations. That's fucking awesome. There's a primer army guy in that game. Very few actual painted models sometimes. Cared more about tabling the enemy caster. But that's the focus of the game, ultimately. That and metal models, I don't know. I don't like painting metal models because I'm always worried that I'm going to look at them wrong and the paint is just going to fly right off, as it does. Don't feel a model until the SOB is painted. Yeah, but you are the exception to the rule, Hethrier, and you have been for a long time. They say the exception proves the rule. You would be that exception. Starting to drive everyone else nuts, so they paint you to pay things. Hey, man. That's pretty okay. It's a good smattering of rocks. And over in here. Just a couple of these little guys. Never had a paint problem, truth be told. Shudder to go and look at those paint jobs now. Yeah. Some people find it easier to paint their stuff than others. Some people want painted models, but the actual act of painting it's not enjoyable for them. I can sympathize with that. I happen to enjoy sitting here and painting models. But that's not everybody. Some people just want to play the game and they like it to look good while they do it. Some people would like to paint, but don't have time. Those were a lot of my customers down in Texas when I was doing large-scale commission painting. They're not even bad painters. They're good painters. They enjoy painting. But they cannot afford, or rather, it makes more sense for them financially and hobby time-wise to pay somebody else to do it than it does for them to devote the massive amount of time and energy and effort that you need to have a good painting studio and to get a bunch of models done. As much as I was stoked that I could provide a bro of mine with a really good Star Wars Legion army before I left Texas, I fully confess that at this point I do regret selling those stormtroopers. Not in the sense that I wish he hadn't got them. I'm glad he did. It's just that now I want them. And I don't want to paint stormtroopers again. I don't want to paint stormtroopers again, I say, as I'm preparing to assemble some fucking clone troopers. Yeah, I'm not full of shit at all. Signar, kind of a bitch to paint. Any army that requires white, ugh, so hard to get good. I've been doing a lot of white lately, Hethrir. It doesn't scare me as much as it used to. It's just one of those things where the more you do it, the better you get at it. You know, one of those things, like everything on the planet. Jesus, as I say that out loud, I realize I'm just describing what practice is. You can do it with the airbrush, but I suck at doing it by hand. Well, you combine the two, is the trick. Do some by airbrush, and then touch it up by hand, and you can get some really neat effects. It's Signar when they were in a white and black, I assume. Go figure. Seem to like the pain that is painting white. I have discovered, or rather other people have informed me, because clearly other people were aware of this before I was painting white figures, that the best whites I've ever made involve almost no white. They involve some very light colors, yes, but they're variations on blue-gray for the most part. Or a warm off-white, eggshell type color, but very little actual white. Best to save the white for a couple of spot highlights. So much of both white and black paint jobs is just tricking the human eye into thinking it's seeing something that it isn't. But then technically, that's color. Like, that describes the phenomenon of why things have color. Is your eye is being tricked into interpreting a certain wavelength. As a particular color. Based on the way light is bouncing off of a surface. And with that in mind, you can make colors out of all kinds of things. By all kinds of things, I mean really just other colors, not really all kinds of things. Just the one kind of thing, I suppose. Yeah, what I said is kind of nonsense, but my point is that you can achieve effective colors without using the most obvious colors, and it can be counterintuitive. You know what I mean! Yeah, Pesmotion, Vallejo? Yeah, Vallejo has a color called Wolf Gray. I use it quite a lot. Where is it? I was just using it earlier today. Nope, that's Linen White. That's not Wolf Gray. It's Neutral Gray. It's Light Gray. There it is. Ah, bumped my microphone. Sorry. One of those days. Here we have Vallejo Game Air Wolf Gray that I use quite a bit. It's a blue-white, blue-gray. Yeah, a little bit. A little Butterfingery. Oh, that just makes me hungry for a Butterfinger that I can't go get. Lost the stream there. What happened? It says I've got some dropped frames, but it claims they were an hour ago. Just a few more to go. Oh, is the printer done? I'm going to wait for that to separate, and then I'll go start another run of those, because I used up all my hex bases. And turn this guy blue as well. I really like coal black as a color. Like, I don't even get that into other P3 colors, but this one in particular is just so fucking perfect for so many things that I like to do. I got a really good Darth Vader out of coal black, too. Sometimes it's hard to Google stuff like Wolf Grey. Huh, no idea what that is, but here's Sasha Grey's Twitch stream. She's got a decent stream, to be fair. Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic blue-black. I really like coal black as a base for a lot of my paint jobs. Stegodon scale. I think I have something very similar to that color. To the Steg. I know the one you're talking about. I can't remember what the one I have is called. It's got a real mouthful of a name. I used it when I painted, what's his name? The Beast of Bodmin for Rampart Company. And also on the Liao Lao Lance that I did for Op 4. This is good for me right now. I don't have the brain capacity for anything more complex than this assembly line sloppy painting. All my mental energy is reserved for freaking out.
All work and no play makes Thunderhead a dull boy.
Freaking out, man. You are freaking out. Man. This is right when I could use a button that makes my voice echo. Like, right now. And I don't have it. But with this new microphone, maybe I'll get it. Maybe. I'll be able to set it up so I can push a button and do fucking voice effects on it. That would be cool. I don't know. I know shit about sound design, so I'll find out once I get dug into it.
There's something about Canopian catgirls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. Or maybe it's just my allergies.
Probably the tails. What's Chaotic Harmony up to today? Did he stream today? I haven't been on Twitch, like, all day. I have no idea what's going on. I think Steiner Miniatures might be painting here in the near future, and that would be pretty cool. On the topic of colors, though, picture some Warhammer mini with awesome ivory color, warm metallic. We have some BattleTech minis in the same colors. Pez Motion, put some pictures on the Discord. I'd love to take a look at that. And maybe we could give you some tips on how to achieve it for a battle mech. Unless you feel very confident in just winging it, in which case, you know, you don't have to. You can just paint it however you like. Not to make this awkward or anything, but those are some sexy rocks. Well, we know what Kersala's into anyway, and it's fucking weird. But thank you. Yeah, these bases have come out pretty decently. I try to keep bases like this simple and just use colors to make them interesting because I really hate doing complex base jobs. For anything that's going to be like an army-sized force, if the basing is too complex, I'm just going to lose interest. He streamed right before I did. Oh. That's a great question, Downslide. Some built-in digital equalizers? Oh, Coral, with the biddies. Charging things up around here, getting things moving. Thank you so much, Oh, Coral. Your support is always appreciated. I gotta reprint that Annihilator for you, Coral. The one that I did, it's not what I want it to be. I left a few islands, a couple things didn't print, and it's way too small. I gotta get that fixed. But I'm gonna be starting one up a little bit later, and then we should be able to get your Annihilator going here pretty soon, like. Alright, I'm gonna dry brush these rocks just a touch. Just a touch. My 10 cents worth. Yeah, at least. Rather bold admission, perhaps even bolder. Jesus. Jesus, sentient pickle. That's come on. I read this stuff out loud. You just made me fucking complicit in that. Check out Voicemeter's virtual equalizers. I think that's what I'm using right now. I'm not sure. It's true, I am in Colorado. There's a bit of a double entendre there. I need Ghost Gray. Ghost Gray is my companion to Coal Black. It does me just right when I need to highlight. You can modulate the mic sounds. Voice meter banana. I'll take a look at that. Is there a Trinity City base set for Battletech? Carla, there is. There are 4 Trinity City style bases that I made up that are available on Steel Warrior Studios. I think he's selling them for like $1.99, and I think they come with the digital file packs. I have them right here on these Urbies that I've just never finished painting. They do not include the cars. The car was added, but these bases should print up nice and easy on just any FDM printer. And you turn on ironing, and you really don't even need to do any filling or sanding when you're done with them. Just start painting, effectively. What's up, man, bro? Good to see you, man. Eastern Colorado. Trinity City suburbs, they are on the horizon. They are on the horizon. Low density residential and commercial. S3D doesn't have ironing. Yeah, I've heard that, Carla, and I find it... I don't want to say I find it hard to believe, because I'm not saying that I don't believe you. I believe that it doesn't have ironing, because people have told me that on numerous occasions. I find it hard to believe that they released that product without that feature. For me, it is a fairly basic feature. I use ironing on almost everything in Cura, and Cura is not that good of a slicing software. It really isn't. But it does that just fine. Denver was weird. Yeah, I don't live in Denver. I live east of Denver a little ways. This music is bad. Let's stop listening to that, shall we? Yes, let's. There, that looks pretty good, huh? There's the final step on one of these. I like that. Let's do the rest. Done for the night. See you next time, Pesmotion. Thank you so much for coming out. It's been a real low-key, real easy-going stream tonight, and I appreciate you hanging out for it. It's done my mental health some good, having a little bit of relaxation today. I'm sure I'll be bouncing off the goddamn walls next time like I usually am. You make a used mech sales lot for Trinity City. Oh, that's actually a really good idea. I like that. A couple months in Inglewood and Littleton. I'll tell you, I lived, like, in the, not in the heart, but pretty deep into San Antonio for almost 10 years. So I definitely have a feel for that metro life. But I'm much more rural now, and I do not regret that. I don't want to go back to that internal city life unless I have to. Not that I'm one of those, like, oh, you goddamn city folk don't know what it's like to be country. I'm about as anti-fucking country as it gets. I just, hate people. You know? Like human beings. They irritate me. And I don't know if you know this, but cities have a lot of people in them that you can't always avoid encountering. One of my favorite things about living where I am right now is I don't encounter people unless I want to, for the most part. Which has been very handy over the last few months, you might note. Dan's Discount Mechs. Discount Dan's. That's not a... I really do kind of like that idea. I might rip that off. I mean, that wouldn't be the first thing I've ripped off even today. I might use this exact basing to, like, these precise steps that I'm doing right here, even at this scale of grit. I might do this for my Adeptus Mechanicus kill team. It's so perfect for that kind of a look. And what's funny is this scheme is effectively, this paint scheme for the Martian-style dirt is effectively based on the fact that we had shitty cameras in, like, the 70s. For the first few shots of the Martian surface. Better than getting lost in downtown Colfax. A lot of Colfax isn't that bad anymore. When I go into town, it's actually easier to pop off on Colfax than it is to take the highway in a lot of the time. And it's, there's definitely questionable lengths of it. But a lot of it has been redone. The more I deal with people, the more I like dogs. Yeah. That is a sentiment that I can understand. Everything with people is difficult. The simplest of things are difficult. And it's hard for me because I'm a humanist at heart. I really am. I like individuals. I like humanity. I like what we've done. I like human civilization. It inspires the shit out of me. And on an individual level, I love people. I feel very deeply and I care quite a lot about people. And that's part of what makes it so hard. When I then turn around and I'm confronted with the masses of humanity, the decisions that they make, and the things that they do. Because then I'm like, oh, no, I take that back. I loathe all of you. Which, you know, that cognitive dissonance can get to you after a while. Alright, let me see here. I'm not going to base these guys right now. That's going to require some work that I want to do off-stream, including cutting. But they're going to go on these bases when they get done. And I think the bases look quite nice. Outright philosophically nihilistic. Huh? Fair enough. These days, I can hardly blame someone for being a nihilist. There's not a lot to believe in unless you go out and find it for yourself, and that, my friend, is hard fucking work. So, I try to believe in us, you know? I try to believe in humanity. They just make it real, real hard on me is all. But, you know, if it was easy, it probably wouldn't be worth doing. At least that's what I tell them. Sell autographed misprints. Maybe one day. Maybe when enough people give a shit. Schultz Brothers had an apartment off Colfax, and it was sketchy as fuck. Oh, yeah, but that was... You know, the Schultzes having an apartment. That was going to be sketchy no matter what part of town it was in. That wasn't the apartment that we played D&D 4th edition in, was it? What's up, Cat? How you doing? Did you have a good meal? I hope you did. I could definitely use something to eat after this. Oh, that was the Greens place. Oh yeah, you're right. I remember that now. That was in a completely different part of town, come to think of it. I'm just dry brushing some more ghost gray over these parts that I did in coal black on the Sierra. And it's more than likely going to get... See, from here I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to give it a black wash to blend the highlights in. And I think that'll look pretty good. I might not even do a black wash. I'm actually liking how this looks. I wanted it to be a little bit more blue and a little less black on this one, and it definitely is that.
Look, I'm not saying Thunderhead's trying to brush you off, but you're just base coat, man.
You're just base coat, man. So, base coat. Oh my god. Becky, look at her base coat. It is so thick. It's like she doesn't even know how to thin her paints. Denver had one of the biggest porn shops I've ever seen, like a warehouse. Ah, Denver, so classy. The other thing Denver had was a Dave & Buster's with some of those Battletech Firestorm pods, which was cool as fuck. And we're gonna have them again soon, apparently. There was a guy locally who I guess bought a bunch of those up before they were disposed of, and he's looking to open up like an arcade with the Battletech Firestorm pods, which I think is pretty exciting. I'm totally into that. Yep, that is the... Now I wish I had more details for you so it would sound more believable, because I feel like I sound like I'm making it up. I'm over here like a guy told a guy. I swear to God it exists. I don't have a link. But yeah, it was in one of the local Battletech Denver groups. Somebody was talking about it. I don't know when it's planning on happening. I would estimate that whatever the planned date was has been kicked back, like everything has been over the last few months. But when it does happen, I am all about that. I loved those Battletech Firestorm games. I used to go to Dave & Buster's and play that shit all the time. And by all the time, I mean the few times that I was able to do that, because I was pretty much a child and not really making decisions for myself at that point. There's a guy in Denver, a guy in Minnesota. They each have around 10 or so. That's pretty good. Supposed to be in Denver in a couple weeks, and our concert was canceled. Sad panda. Yeah, that's some bullshit, man. I'm looking forward to the next time you guys can come up here and we can go to a show. I really enjoyed Sabaton. That was a fun night. And of course, I need to roll my ass down there for a number of things, including a game of Neo Mechanica at this point. I might even say hi to Kat while I'm in the area. Who knows? I won't even tell her I'm coming. I'm just going to show up outside her house in a car with dark tinted windows, a pair of binoculars. You know, the way that friendly neighbors say hi. That's looking pretty decent. Yeah. He keeps putting salt shakers over what the fuck you say, and it's driving me crazy. You gonna do that heat hawk effect on the retractable blade? On the retractable blade? Sorry, I can't talk with my English words. No makey word good. On this one, no, Roland. I was thinking about that, though. And I do want to do that. I'm not doing it on these because, like I said earlier in the stream, I want to get these ones bing, bang, boom, done on the table for some demo games. But I'm going to have some more. In fact, I already do have other Sierras printed with blades extended. And on those, I do want to try the Heat Hawk effect. And I'm just going to go straight to the frames from Gundam animes. And I just duplicate that effect the same way that they drew it on the cartoon. I think it should be interesting. Meta in an FLGS? It could be true, I don't know. Yeah, like you guys have just... That town is not big enough for you to have lived there as long as you have and not walked right by each other. Cyber Knight, good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome. Oh, god damn. My back is all crunchy. I am gonna do... Oh, I didn't do the tanks at all yet. That's okay, I'll get to them. I want to do a little bit of assembly. I want to build some of these Star Wars models. Why not? Why not split myself off in yet another direction? What could go wrong? Probably been in Board Fox at the same time. That sounds likely. I've heard him talk about Board Fox. There's a fancy French term for that. Yeah, but the French call a certain... I don't know what. Yeah, Cyber Knight, if you've got some good scene references that you feel like throwing my way so I don't have to dig them out, I will absolutely use them. Absolutely. Can they break if fumbled, the Star Wars stuff? Because you're kind of butterfingered today. Probably not. The styrene's pretty solid. I think. I mean, I shouldn't be able to break it unless I really torque on it. But, you know, let's get stuck in and see. What's the worst case scenario? I break a fucking battle droid? You know, I could print more. And then they'd be even more fragile, and then they'd definitely break. Oh, God, it's a vicious cycle. Oh... I'm not exactly going to sit here and build all of them. I figure that's going to take me a good long time. I just kind of want to start getting familiar with these kits. This is a destroyer droid. I don't want to do that yet. This is also a destroyer droid. They are no match for droidicas. Yes, please do. If you have been working on anything over the course of this stream, please post it in the stream review channel on Discord. I would love to see what you would like to show off. Now see, here's a sprue that is missing one piece. C1. It's probably one of these ones that I have right here. Let me see. C1, that is a battle droid head. That is this. This is missing from this sprue. I think it has everything else. Yeah, that's the only part missing, so I'm going to go to this one. Way ahead of me. You usually are, Cybran. I think there's an assembly guide in the book. I'm going to take a look at it. I can't imagine I'm going to need it all that much. They are only battle droids after all, but let's have a look. Star Wars Legion is it's a good game. It's a fairly excellent game, mechanically speaking. I haven't touched any of this Clone Wars stuff yet, though, so this is kind of exciting. Alright, so they have key numbers on the sprues, SWL-49. That doesn't correspond to any of these. Okay, it's the individual pieces that I have to look at. So I've got C1 here. C1 is a part of B1 Battle Droid Trooper 0198. That one is here. And what else is on the sprue with him? There's also... Pardon me, I'm bumping the camera. There's also E1. Oh, Jesus, FFG, what have you done? This is... Woo! What's up, Evil Honk? How you doing, man? You're just in time for me to make an asshole out of myself gluing together battle droids. Set this over here. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit because I think the angle on this is going to be slightly different as I work. There we go. It's almost your birthday, it's almost Kat's birthday, it's almost Vergaderung's birthday, it's almost my birthday. It's fucking birthday city around here. What were we all like, we all drop out of the same fucking clone tank or something? Crazy. That seems like a good focus level for what I'm doing. Not my birthday, that was last month. Oh, well, you broke the fucking cycle down slide. Now none of what I say counts. Checkmate, liberals. OG camera angle. Not quite OG. The OG camera angle was truly abysmal. Truly abysmal. C1, C2. I'm going C1 through C8 is going to cover this whole battle droid. So C1 is already out. A little bit of clipping over here. Clippity clip. And out we come. These pieces are fucking tiny. Oh my god. This is like working with a weird model or something. Still don't know what minis to get. Get all of the minis. Gotta get this release going as soon as I have my initial stock ready to go. Yeah, man, you've been producing like fucking crazy. It's exciting to see the Tyrant coming out. Ronald McDonald, what are you thinking, Evil Honk? I know you've been going back and forth on what minis you want to get. Get yourself something you're going to enjoy, man. Get yourself something that you're enthusiastic about. Let's talk Battle Droid color schemes. I'm trying to think of canonical Battle Droid color schemes from the movies, And the only one that I can think of, other than the standard, like, bone white, is the sort of desert red from Geonosis. There's an idea. I could paint them like Geonosis droids, but that might get awkward when I start using droids that weren't in the Battle of Geonosis. What are some other good color schemes for battle droids, guys? Roland's got good news. That's exciting. Backdating your UI until... Oh, shit. That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Three boxes of 3 Giselles. Oh, for the Ratman, yeah. Extra foam. And then some Sisters of Battle. That's a good get, man. That'll be a sweet haul. And happy birthday if I don't have a chance to wish you that before it happens. Yeah, there's the tan with yellow, the bone with like the yellow stripes. The desert red wasn't just for Geonosis. Where else would I have seen the desert red from Geonosis? That's the only place I can think of that we saw it. Come to think of it, there was probably a lot of it in the Clone Wars that I'm just glazing right over. Ooh! Oh! There's an idea. You know the black, the dark gray with the white and I think yellow and maybe a little bit of red that the commando droids were done in? What if I did a whole army like that? That could be cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C6. These pieces are so damn spindly. I mean, it makes sense. B1 battle droids are so damn spindly. But holy shit, guys. Also, what in Christ am I listening to? What is... Prism! Yeah, let's not do that. I got through that whole song before realizing that I hated it. There we go. There we go. And then this tiny little arm piece, which is already partially broken free because the connection points are like 0.5 millimeter. Copperish, like the droidicas. Yeah, that's a good option. Also, since Geonosis was a manufacturing planet, I can imagine it applies to a lot of the stuff they made. That's true. There were probably... I guess a lot of what was going on Geonosis was they were loading the legions of battle droids they produced onto the ships and then escaping with them. So it would follow that they produced a lot of different color schemes, and that the red ones that went out to fight, there would have been more of them. Probably escaping on, like, Trade Federation ships or something like that. Listen to me. Where's Greg? Where the fuck is Greg the Salt Miner when you need him? He would love this conversation. He'd be like, well, technically that red was only for the Techno-Union, and the Techno-Union only had 50 of them. Like, he would fucking know this bullshit. He loves those movies. Oh, you are all antsy in the pantsy, Gwynny. I'm gonna let you out of my room because clearly you want to go say hi to your kitty friend right now. One moment. Gwynny, come here. Oh, don't trip over my damn cables, thank you. Evil Honk, not that I know of. Now, admittedly, the first few years of my life are shrouded in mystery. I woke up in a pit full of corpses with no memory of who I was or what my name was, and I then had to engage in a series of adventures to discover my true identity, which I haven't actually confirmed. And then the government came after me. And I discovered that I had some incredibly adept fighting skills that only came out when I was really, really pressed. And, no, wait, that was a movie. Never mind. Yeah. I don't know, Evil Honk. I hope not. Don't take this the wrong way, but I really hope I'm not. I like the standard schemes. Yeah, I think they look good too, but I want to do something a little more interesting. Charts of canonical colors. I'll probably wind up checking that out.
Look, if this conversation
Painted
is
like...
more about how you feel about something, I'm gonna have to start charging you 50 C-bills per hour so I can listen to it.
See, there you go. Battle droids painted as if they were clone commandos. That'll fool the clones. They'll never know if we just paint ourselves white and I'll start talking like Timawara Morrison. That's genius. I don't know why Grievous never thought of that. Well, I need to do a little research then. Who was Grievous ever in charge? Was, like, General Grievous would have commanded...
Fingertips covered in superglue are not approved safety gear for handling razor blades.
It's true. And I don't even have the superglue right now. I'm just doing some mold line removal. I got a thick glove on. This is one of those, like, shop gloves with the tear-resistant coating, so this is probably better than my usual bare-handed methods. But I would assume that Grievous, being the overall commander of droid forces for in the Clone Wars, would have commanded battle droids of many different color schemes. So I can't just go, oh, well, it's Grievous's army, so they're going to be this color, because that's not necessarily true. And I realize I'm usually the guy who's like, fuck canon, do what's cool, paint them bright yellow, make them pink, doobity-doobity-doo. But for some reason, when Star Wars gets involved, I'm suddenly like, whoa, 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 whoa. Is that canon? Because if it's not, then get it the fuck out of here. I have to clear my focus a little bit here. Rainbow droids! There we go. Now you can see kind of what I'm working on, which is the super interesting process of mold line removal. I'm not going to go crazy on these guys. I'm impressed, though. I really am. I've been painting FFG models for a long time, guys. This last break was the longest I've taken from FFG models. I painted so many figures from Rune Wars, the miniatures game. Oh my god. And Star Wars Imperial Assault, and Battle Lore. I painted a bunch of figures from Battle Lore. Probably the smallest infantry I've done up until now. And I've watched their quality improve over time. Grenade launcher droids. Wait, there are grenade launcher droids? Is that a thing? 90% of the Clone Wars cartoon is D. Bradley Baker talking to himself. It's true. I have always liked Grievous, like, even with all the stupid shit that was going on, and I'm really disappointed that Greg isn't here. He's off there being with his wife and eating dinner and doing a bunch of shit, and I'm over here talking about Attack of the fucking Clones, and this is a conversation that he would love. He was the one for a long time who was, like, the token, Clone Wars / prequels fan, when I was the guy who was like, nah man, nah, it's all about Empire Strikes Back. And for a while I was even so bold as to claim that The Force Awakens was the start of something new and interesting for Star Wars. That subsequently turned out to be bullshit. I will say, for these movies, for the prequel films, one thing they did for me was they made me appreciate, or not the prequels, the sequels at this point. They made me appreciate what it was that the prequels were really bringing to the table, when I did not before. These models don't have many mold lines that I can see. Maybe when I prime them they're going to jump out at me, but they're really not right now. Says now you can see with it in focus and then holds it off camera. That's my signature move, man. I just changed my camera angle so I'm not totally dialed in yet. You know what it is it's... I want to put it right here. So let me just move the camera to me rather than trying to move around the camera. How about that? Yeah, there we go. The mold lines on here barely exist. FFG was not kidding when they decided to get into styrene, huh? Now, these are styrene models, right? I'm not gonna take some plastic cement, smear it on here, and wind up with a big fucking mess, am I? Because I'd feel real stupid if I did that. Nerd. Prequel is supreme. There was a time when I would have argued with that, evil honk. Like, I would have fucking laid into you in a way that probably wouldn't have been very nice. After the sequels, I now have a much greater appreciation for the vision that George Lucas had when he began the... Oh my god, this is so... This is very breakable. Look at this. Look at the... Here. You can see right here, this break point, where there's like an indent on the gun. The whole thing flexes right at that point if you push on it at all. This is so fine. I've got to be gentle with this. So when I'm cutting it... Oh man. Okay, I'm going to hold it by the front so that I'm not putting any pressure on that. If I'm going to cut myself, this is probably going to be it. No? No cutting yourself today, huh? Alright, good job, me. Way to go, me. You're the best, me. I love your work, me. Would you sign my autograph, me? Oh, wait, no. I got straight. But like I was saying, now I go back and I watch the prequels, and yeah, there's a lot of really stupid shit. Just objectively dumb shit. Revenge of the Sith, a fucking battle droid retrieves the lightsabers of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker for General Grievous, and he hands it to him. Alright, Kursala, yeah, it's getting late. I'm gonna go to stream review here in just a minute. I don't usually go this late, guys. But he hands him the fucking lightsabers, and General Grievous snatches them away, and the battle droid goes, "Oh, you're welcome," in like a sarcastic tone. That is maybe the most perfect distillation of everything that is fucking wrong with George Lucas's brain right there. Like, George, that's not funny. Like, I know you're thinking, hee hee, I'm making a joke. It's not funny. You have no sense of humor, and you shouldn't try to make jokes. Yeah, the prequels are made better by Clone Wars. Clone Wars, to me, is where the character of Anakin Skywalker comes into being. Like, I have a much greater connection to the Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars cartoons, and I feel like watching Revenge of the Sith, you're almost missing out on something if you haven't watched the Clone Wars that lead up to it and sort of inform who Anakin is by the time those events in his life happen. Even with that, the performance of Hayden Christensen is fucking regrettable, but at least it makes more sense. Clone Wars is fantastic. I haven't watched any of the new season that they've been releasing yet. I'm gonna get to that. I'm kind of just waiting for the whole thing to be out before I go in. Jesus, these parts. Man, I hope the super battle droids are easier to build than this.
When you start to delve into the duality of good and evil.
He's trying to cut these little sprue connections off his cheek plates here.
Maybe it's time we all gave evil a chance. Even the devil needs a friend.
There we go. You know what we really need for Legion? Gungans. We need some of the big boomers, right? I'm really glad the Daylight Gamer isn't here right now, because he would be fucking just making fun of me like crazy. I have not gotten to the droidicas yet. I have not. This is the first battle droid I've built, and it's already taken me a long time. I take it you've been building them for a while, Play and Win. But then you stuck with Legion after I fucking rage quit. To be fair, my rage quit from Legion had more to do with, like, FFG Corporate than it did the actual game of Legion. But I showed them fucking good. I quit the game in protest, and FFG turned their business around. They were like, whoa, this one dude stopped playing our games. We better fix our shit. And they did. They didn't. That didn't happen. Avoid the spindly factions, plasteel armor, or bust. See, it's funny because because the faction I want to play are the droids playing win. Tell you what, ThunderCon fucking goes down. Bring your clones up with you, man. For what did I protest? A number of things internally at FFG, among them the cancellation of the Rune Wars miniatures game, and some internal bullshit surrounding the Legion playtesting at the time. Nothing that I can go into, nothing that's even all that interesting, honestly. Like, even if I was able to give you all the details of it, you'd go, you're kind of a nerd, bro, and then you would just forget about it, because it's not particularly interesting. So their necks bend back, right? So the backpack goes on this part of it, I'm pretty sure. Jesus, you guys. I mean, I'm glad FFG is doing styrene models, but they gotta work on their designs a little bit, I think. Alright, how does it suggest? It suggests that I put the whole head together, so I'm gonna do that to start with. Oh my god. Are you telling me, play and win, that the droidicas are spindlier than this? I mean, I guess it makes sense. They've got some real spindly connections on them, but at the same time, holy crap. At least they appear to be slightly keyed to one another. That's going to make this easier. Not that much easier, but, you know, easier. Welcome to Gluing and Cursing with Thunderhead. Fucking goddamn son of a bitch! Put the head down, let that set for a few minutes, build the rest of the body. I should build the legs. It suggests. The legs, at least, are one piece. They're simple, and they're keyed to the position they're meant to be in. I appreciate that thoroughly. Thank you, FFG. Found the Heavy Gear Blitz book you helped write? So you've been into it for a while then, Roland. I didn't realize that I had Heavy Gear fucking alumni and royalty here in the chat. I doff my autocannon to you, sir. What did you help write? Was it like a rule book or like a lore type book? Yeah, what's the title? Fucking lay it on us, man. Let's hear about it. Colby, these are terrible. I'm sorry. Whoever I was talking to, forget that I used your name. So the, oh my god. These connection points are so small. Oh no. I am a bit of a masochist, it seems. This goes into here, right? That's a hand. Alright, I need to clean up that connection point then. Basically the Codex army book for the southern factions, aha. What part of it did you help with? Alright, so I'm going to try connecting the arm first. And then with that on, I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the wrist joint deal there and right there and try to connect the other arm. This is guaranteed to work, except it's probably not going to. Come on. Come on, fella. I'm gonna fucking hate myself by the time I'm done building these. More so than I already do. Oh, I see, and then the thumb comes up out of that's his palm. Alright, I get how this is supposed to go. He's kind of aiming forward and up. I'd like to tilt that down. Just gently. Just gently. There we go, guy. There we go. Now you're aiming forwardish. Well, you're gonna be once you listen to me. Oh my god. Yep. This is one battle droid that I'm building. That is really cool, Roland. I hate you for building this. Well, that makes probably like a dozen of us. I probably should have dry fit that before I put glue on it, but it's been a while since I built styrene models. Put him down so I can get a feeling for how his head should be oriented. You know, it took me until an episode of Rebels to realize that the, what's the word, the morphology, and it's not the right word for a droid, but the shape of the B-1 battle droid, with the crazy shit hanging off its head and the proportions of the head to the neck to the arms and everything, it's like a slightly, it's a mixture between a Geonosian, one of the bug folk, and like a human. And it took me until, like I said, an episode of Rebels to actually put that together. I might be a little oblivious at times. And a little bit more glue for the backpack, just to give it another connection point. Yeah, I need an automated assembly. 1 unit is ready with 1,000,000 more well on the way. Your droids are very impressive. You must be very proud. Play with the orientation here a bit, just to get everything where it should be. I think my backpack is leaning to one side. Oh my god. You know what I'm gonna have to do is, yeah, assembly line these motherfuckers in such a way that I'm just gluing one part each time, like the backpack. And that way, by the time I get to the next part, the other parts will have had time to set in place. Because trying to do all of these on one model when only a few of the parts have actually set is quite tricky. I'm holding it off camera again. Where's my I feel like my camera keeps leaning down or something. I don't know. And I'm just right back to my painting position. Well, that's because it's a good position. There we go. It needed to be higher up on his back. Roger, roger. Hey, guys! We built one battle droid. Aren't we fucking excited? I know, I'm stoked. Oh, and then I'm gonna drop him and he's just gonna go shooting everywhere. Well, the nice thing about these guys is they're so light and so spindly that I don't think dropping it would do anything. I'm pretty sure he'd be just fine. You kneel there, little battle droid. Huzzah! Drops it, and it shatters. Yeah. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the clone troopers, with the exception of this bark speeder, which, to my chagrin, is not shaped like a giant dog. That just seemed too easy. I will say that for the clone troopers, I think they just released the Arc hover tank, or the Saber hover tank. That looks fucking cool as hell. I think these clones are in the usual PVC plastic from FFG. And, yeah, they seem to be. Good hard PVC. Well, those are easy. Good number of clones. I appreciate them using repeated weapon systems for this game, too, like having these Z6 blaster cannons. And it's the same sculpt that they use for the Z6s on the Rebel Troopers from the first Clone Wars box. Or not Clone Wars box, Star Wars box. I appreciate that thoroughly. What are canon paint schemes for... Oh, hey, there's Headless Obi-Wan. What are the canon paint schemes for Phase 1 Clone Troopers? Because I only know of the white ones. When I think Phase 1 Clone Troopers and B1 Battle Droids, I think of Geonosis. And when I think of Geonosis, I think of white armor and red droids. And the ruddy red droids may be what I go with, because I really did like the look of those ones. Alright, guys, I'm gonna go to the stream review as we move towards wrapping up. So far tonight, it has been a nice, relaxed, intimate stream. This has been good for my mental health today. I've been just... I needed something that was just... center oneself, you know? A couple of Phase 1 stripes we see in the movies, like pilots. You know me, play and win. I like to do things as canonical as I can, particularly when it comes to Star Wars. I'll take a look, Roland. Let's pop over into the Discord and have a look at what you've been working on during the stream. I know I'm excited. I'm excited to find out what it could be. You're going to get the tunnel vision for just a sec. I hope you don't mind too terribly. Kabam! Kabam! Bing, bang, boom, as they say. I don't think anybody says that. Oh, it's been active. Stream review, Wolfenspawn with Where Are We? Good morning from Karatha, Western Australia. I don't know how you, which syllable the emphasis would be on. Oh, that is lovely. That's absolutely. What are these lights? Do you live near, like, an airport? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That beautiful red. That's nice, Wolfen. Thank you so much. Tonight's work from Shadow 31. Hopefully I can push through and finally finish this batch. Definitely it's not starting the other 21 for a bit at least. Oh, yeah, you were saying you were working on them Dark Clan rats. Look at them. Ugh. I love Ratman. These guys, the Skaven, fucking botched that shit instead. Karatha. It'd be a good name. I don't mind that. God damn it, why do you keep putting salt over what people fucking say? Running lights, doing your inspection. Oh, okay. I gotcha. The Skaven models are... Like, I have almost no interest. Like, I played a little bit of Warhammer Fantasy Battles back in the day. And, I have a passing interest every now and then in, like, Age of Sigmar, but I'm not really... I don't know. I don't have any investment in that aspect of Warhammer. But the Skaven almost pull me in every time I see their boxes. I love Ratmen. I love the whole concept of Ratmen. I love the big, like, goo launchers that they get. I love the big, nasty warp lock bullshit that they pull in the universe. I just think rats are cool as hell. I played Dead Zone because they gave me some rats to play with in that one. Space rats, and I enjoyed that. And with the clan rats done and drying, onto the Polar, Galaxy, Cicada, and Pegasus. Ooh. Well, that's an interesting looking cicada. Oh, it's facing the other way. I was confusing myself. I was like, what the fuck happened to it? Okay, now it makes sense. It's facing that direction. That's a good looking color scheme. I like that blue and white. Brighter whites, darker metals, Space Iguana continuing to work on Comguard. Did Comguard have Timberwolves? I guess they would have later on. We're really spanning the whole breadth of Comguard, aren't we? We've got Urban Mechs and a Timberwolf. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? Throw a Mad Cat in there. Atlas, big old Daddy King Crab. Look at that son of a bitch. That looks good, man. The panel lining's really coming together. I love the choice for the cockpit glass, too. That's excellent. Further work on the Jade, Falcon, Delta, Galaxy, Turkina, having problems as usual with the yellow. Yellow is tricky. Too thin and it's see-through, too thick, and you get the saturation, and you get the brush marks. Yeah. I feel your pain, Sentient Pickle. I've found that it helps to undercoat it. I mean, white is always a good undercoat. Lay down a number of thin coats of white before you start putting down your yellow, and you can do fewer, thinner coats of yellow. Even if you can see a couple of the brushstrokes, if you look really close, though, a good striking paint job like this can sort of pull away from that. Nice job with the lensing on the cockpit. That looks nice, man. Cybran Knight busting out those Tyrant parts. Look at him go. Look at those big, dag, nasty feet. I love the look of the Tyrant's legs, and it's so posable. You have to understand, this is a... Oh, after Takayad. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you have to understand that this is a ball joint here, and then we've got a barrel joint here and another ball joint here, so these legs can be in any pose that you want them to be in. It's crazy. Cybran Knight is obsessed with modularity, and I appreciate his work. More parts for the Tyrant. Vergatorung has been printing Forbidden Candy. Ooh, look at it. Don't they look delicious? Little cherry-flavored locusts. Those are good prints. I think I did this one once. I wound up pinning its feet in the air, but to the base. What do we got here? Stop. Immobile. Oh, you're making tokens. Oh, those look cool. I like that. I'm a token whore, though. I'm all about the tokens. Oh, and then we got some civilian vehicles. We got taco trucks. We have panel vans. We got... What do we got back here? This is a fire engine. I think we probably have an ambulance in here, though I can't quite tell. Oh, yeah, here's fire engine up front. Oh, we got like a hover and a wheeled version. These are cool, man. I can't wait to get my hands on some of these to put them into Trinity City. More Forbidden Candy. Oh, don't they look good, though? Like, you just want to grab these and... Spoken like a true FFG player. Colby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doing that right there. Pretend I didn't. Play and win. You remember the insane organization that I went through on the fucking tokens. I still have that tackle box that I had for Rune Wars with all the fucking acrylic tokens in it. It's fucking out of control. I'm gonna try to reuse those for Legion because, man, I got a lot of them. Hey, Psycho Dolly, what's up? You're catching us right at the end. We're just doing our stream review, where our viewers have posted pictures in the Discord, and we're going over and taking a look at what everybody else is doing creatively, because I'm just not that interesting today. I don't know. It really does look like you printed a bunch of Jolly Ranchers, though, here, Berg. Like, I want to take these toxic pieces of resin and put them in my mouth so bad. So bad. I gotta get away from them. Kursala, that's right, you've been working on the Orion. Broke apart the Orion's legs and readied them for individual printing and posing. Oh, I love this. I love this. Like, I don't necessarily want these parts physically to work with, but I want these parts digitally so that I can do as much posing as I want to, you know? Oh, I'm sorry about that, Psycho. We don't, the links get deleted in chat, but toss it to me in a PM or drop it in the Discord. I'm sorry about that. It's a feature that I keep meaning to turn off, but I don't remember to do it. I'll get it done after this, Psycho Dolly. I apologize about that. Kat, would you do me a favor? Give a shout out to Psycho Dolly. She is a video editor who streams a couple of different games, and she did a while ago, and she's just picking it back up. But she has a friend who does. Oh, you didn't? Well, whatever. It says link deleted. Oh, it treated it as a link, probably because there was a dot in it. Almost certainly. Desania Props. That's it. Right there. I've seen some of her work. She does, like, cosplay props, all built by hand. She did a Majora's Mask from Legend of Zelda. She does some really cool work. Like, stuff that, I don't know, you should really check it out. But I love props and I love cosplay. She's doing some sculpting on stream right now. That's awesome. Let's see. Wolfenspawn, more pictures from Australia. Yeah, that looks like Australia. I can see, like, over here, you can see there's, it looks very small, but that's the Interceptor with Mel Gibson in it. And here we have a hollowed out former aircraft that's being used as a fuel tank for the warlord that lives in this tower over here. And here's a fuel refinery where the plot of the Road Warrior is going to take place later. That's Australia, alright. Would appreciate some CNC, especially on the lasers and cockpit glass. And yes, I've been informed the seller assembled my cicada backwards. Fight me. Yes, he did assemble the cicada backwards. You got lasers here and here. Have you looked at jeweling effects? Because it's tricky to paint lasers at this scale, but a simple jeweling effect can go a long way on this Shadow 31. I'll take a closer look at this a little bit later. Here we have another view from within the safety of this car. We have a war rig going down the war-torn, blasted highways of Australia. Somewhere back here, a little bit off camera, is again Mel Gibson, who is going to be shooting up here and murdering about 5 people on top of it before running it off a cliff. That's Australia, man. I don't know what to tell you. I can't see Steve Irwin. Well, he's in there. If she's still going in just a few minutes, Psycho Dolly, we go over and take a look, probably. In typical Aussie fashion, let's stick it on a truck. Prosperina Hussar's masking test. Fairly effective. That is a tricky scheme to do. Who is this? Oh, Silvery Demise. That is a really tricky scheme to do, man. It's gonna look cool, though. This worked pretty well. I always have a hard time masking straight lines like this because they wind up curving, you know? But if you go back in and clean it up by hand, it should come out real nice. Not much actual work done, but base coat and contrast. Carla, base coat and contrast, that's work. That's real fucking work. Alright? Anything. If you're making progress, you're making progress. We got one of the new Locusts. We got an Off-Scout newer sculpt.
Look,
a couple bits of armor.
Thunderhead's trying to brush you off, but you're just base coat, man.
It is maybe a little base coat, but then it is a base coat. So what are you gonna do? Manro Fasal painting. Oh shit! Is this a Cornate Greater Demon? Look at this big, beautiful son. Look at the fucking gains that this guy, like, he must chug fucking protein powder by the gallon. Am I right? Fucking gains for the gains god. Holy shit. That's looking cool, man. I like the long, straight horns. You don't see that all that often. Well, the red skin tone's coming out nice. Oh, that's everybody for the review, huh? Well, this has been a good one. Oh, guys, Demon Prince, thank you. Nothing from O'Coral today. He benches Land Raiders for days. Oh, there's the Insta-link from Showcase. Oh, you know what? Let's go take a look. Let's take a look real quick. Oh, Dale Ida. Yeah. This is an example of how a paint job on a mech doesn't have to be particularly complex. Or... I look at this mech, at this paint job, and first of all, he's a fantastic painter, he's a fantastic converter, he's a fantastic designer. I really love the stuff that Dale does. I look at this and I just think, like, I wish that I had the eye to do something this effective, because to attempt this sort of paint job, I would overdo it. Just my style, I would overdo it like crazy. And he knows just where to stop to really sell the effect. That's, like, I don't even like Cyclops, but it's a good-looking treatment on a much older sculpt. And he used these conversion parts very effectively. Oh, and this is the one you were talking about earlier? Off-white ivory color and warm metallic trim. Yeah, I could see that. It's a good-looking knight. And of course it's a melee knight, which automatically makes it one of my favorites. Alright, alright. Guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen. Ladies, lady is probably more accurate. Let's be honest. Right? Tonight's been fun. It's, I got thrown a little bit earlier today, and I had a moment where I was like, shit, I don't know if I'm going to have time to stream, but I'm glad that I got out here. I'm glad we all showed up. We got a little bit of work done. You know, so much of this game, this painting game, is, it's just doing a little bit every day is what keeps it going, because our backlogs get to be so goddamn daunting. And of course today I'm like, I'm going to introduce a bunch more models to make it even worse. But this is, you know, this is the painters and gamers curse. Oh, Nanotanks with the follow. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself. Oh, yep, no, you're right. We have at least Kat and Carla, so we can say ladies. We can say ladies. Two of them. Both of them. With the devil horns, as it were. Alright, guys. I am going to be back. I'm going to give you guys a maybe right now on Thursday. I need to check with somebody. I'm giving you an 80% chance that I'm going to be back Thursday, April 2nd. It'll be Vergaderung's birthday. It'll be my birthday. It'll be Charlton Copley's birthday. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate. I think Charlton Copley's birthday is in, like, June. Why do I even know that at all? I don't know. Charlton Copley's a great actor, though, you guys. If you haven't seen Hardcore Henry, check it out. I am going to turn in for the night. Let's have a look at who is streaming right now, because I'm sure somebody has to be up to something interesting, right? Psycho Dolly said her friend was going. Steiner Miniatures is painting. He's going to be working on some Revelations figures. I am going to send you guys over there to check out what he's working on. Guys, he is very new to streaming, so I'm not going to say go into his chat and give him tips, because that's fucking patronizing is what that is. But bear in mind that his stream is very new, and if you feel like giving him some tips, if he asks for them or something like that, just be kind. He's a great painter, and picking up streaming is tricky. I'm not very good at it myself, you know? Don't be that guy. Yeah, don't go in there and start telling him how to run his shit. I'm just saying, you know, be understanding. His stream gets better literally every fucking time that he does it. Alright, guys, I am going to send you over. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Thanks, Kat, for being here again, for managing this barrel of fucking monkeys for me. It keeps me able to focus on what I'm doing. I've had a great time. I will see you guys more than likely on Thursday. Until then, keep on painting. Have a great night.